With this, Yemo immediately knew there was a problem. It was dark gray, but it had a snow-white ray, though seemed to tear space open. Before it even reached Yemo, felt that dominant and grand killing force. This killing force was much more than his Zisu. Before the sword even arrived, his essence spirit was shaking. Yemo focused all of his spirit sense on releasing Lightning Sword at this moment and didn't even release Octagonal Cauldron. When he was about to release the Octagonal Cauldron, the sword tip had appeared before him. He even had the feeling that even Octagonal Cauldron wouldn't be able to stop it. Yemo's body went cold. He even had this feeling that he didn't want to avoid it. Yemo instantly knew things weren't good and bit the tip of his tongue, forcefully waking himself up. Splurge. Blood splashed out when the sword tip pierced into Yemo's chest. Yemo breathed easy. The moment the tip hit him, the dominating killing force disappeared. Yemo knew it wasn't that the sword tip wasn't powerful, but Hong Yixing couldn't control this sword tip. The moment Hong Yixing released this sword tip, he spat a few mouthfuls of blood. He knew the power of this sword tip too well. He couldn't control it with his current power. But if he didn't use this, he wouldn't be able to escape from Yemo. The instant the sword tip struck Yemo, Hong Yixing breathed easy. No matter what, he didn't need to run now. Being struck by the sword tip meant certain death. The sword tip broke open Yemo's armor. This was the first time Yemo received such heavy injury since reaching God state body refinement. Yemo grabbed the jumping sword tip and sets tens of restrictions on it before putting it in his storage ring. If Hong Yixing could still control this, he wouldn't be able to put it away. You're fine. Hong Yixing looked at Yemo in shock. To a truth realization state cultivator, a knife wound was nothing. He thought that this sword tip would at least tear Yemo's body to pieces or even bloody mist. Hong Yixing didn't dare to imagine just what degree a body was strong to when it couldn't be torn by this sword tip. Yemo knew his situation wasn't good. His wounds wouldn't heal after that strike, and it was about to expand. He had to quickly kill Hong Yixing and find a place to recover. He burst out his cultivation essence and spirit sense like crazy as the lightning sword fell down with even more power. He also released Zisu. Countless purple sword rays locked this volume of space. Yemo was determined to kill Hong Yixing. The evil soul strands gradually disappeared completely, and there was defeat on Hong Yixing's face. If he knew this cultivator was this absurd, he would use all means to escape, but now, his cultivation essence and spirit sense was used up too much. He couldn't even break through Yemo's domain. After all the evil soul strands were destroyed, Yemo used Zisu again, Illusion Cloud Hua Mountain Strike. He would only feel assured after Hong Yixing was dead and thus didn't hold back at all. There was a sliver of despair on Hong Yixing's face. His chi suddenly rose. Yemo knew this guy was planning to self-destruct after seeing that he couldn't get away. Splurge. The sword ray hacked Hong Yixing when he was about to self-explode. Amidst the explosion, tiny space tears appeared. The two-headed, nine-headed void-devouring bug looked sad too and was about to self-destruct. Shui Yufeng and the other cultivator quickly retreated. They looked at the center of the explosion wondering if Yemo could survive this. Yemo didn't go into the golden page world. As he used his cultivation essence, the power of the God state body refinement was shown. Compared to Shang Cheng's self-destruction, Hong Yixing's was nothing. Moments later, the space returned to normal. Hong Yixing and his nine-headed void-devouring bug disappeared. Yemo just stood in there with a little messy hair. He didn't seem injured at all. Yemo scanned Shui Yufeng and the other cultivator and suddenly released Blue Moon disappearing. At this moment, Yemo had to go find a place to heal. That sword tip gave Yemo a very bad feeling. The cultivator standing with Shui Yufeng was Truth Realization State Level 9. Yemo didn't know since when North Far State had a Truth Realization State Level 9 cultivator, but he didn't have the mood to ask. He was clearly very strong to be able to run away from Hong Yixing. Before he was recovered, he shouldn't be in contact with such people. His shadowless was exposed. Who didn't want shadowless? Although it could only ever have one master, but its body was full of treasure. Qianbei, wait for me. Shui Yufeng turned without hesitation. Qianbei? The cultivator studied Shui Yufeng and said, "Didn't you say you sealed Hong Yixing for countless years and this cultivator fighting old demon Hong was all an act?" Why do you suddenly call him Qian Bei now? What? You're looking down on me? Shui Yufeng didn't consider this truth realization state level 9 a threat at all. The cultivator smiled, of course not. I see that you possessed this body. Your soul and the body hasn't fully fused yet. That's right, little brother, keen eyes. When I was dominating the cultivation realm with Chu Xiaoyi, he said he would get me a immortal curl flower. Pity. I'm still alive, but brother Xiao has died. Shui Yufeng sounded a little down. You're actually a master in the same generation as Chu Xiaoyi Qianbei? The cultivator immediately saluted with his fists with respect. Seeing he got the respect, Shui Yufeng was satisfied and showed a plain face. That's right. Brother Xiaoyi and I sealed that Hong Yixing for 10,000 years, but he still broke the seal. If it wasn't for that brother's help. By the way, what's your name? You can escape from Hong Yixing, you're not ordinary. The cultivator said, I'm Zhuo Qingyan. I don't often come to North Far State. This time, I'm sending a disciple to Pei Hai City and thus I came here. On the way back, I accidentally encountered old Demon Hong. Shui Yufeng had been sealed for too long to know North Far State's cultivation level, so he nodded, not bad. Your power is quite good. Truth realization state level 9, you're about to ascend to Immortal realm. Keep it up. We'll meet again in the Immortal realm. Then where do you live? What is your disciple's power level? Plus, are you not going to teach him after sending him there? Shui Yufeng said. Zhuo Qingyan smiled because the Immortal Ascension tunnel has opened. I'm preparing for Immortal Ascension. Although my Smoke Rain Island is very tough, it's not safe in a place like the Heartless Sea. If I Immortal Ascension and my disciple is just hollow spirit state, clearly my disciple can't stay alive properly. I'm here to find an old friend here wanting him to take care of my disciple. But that old friend had left Dangling Peak. Shui Yufeng patted his chest. Brother Zhuo, if it wasn't that I'm about to Immortal Ascension too, I would look after your disciple for sure. But don't worry. Tell me your disciple's name and I'll protect him. In North Far State, other than that Hong Yixing, I'm not scared of anyone. Then he added quickly, that young guy who killed Hong Yixing is my friend. I'm definitely not going to have conflict with him. I even gave him a painting. Although he's very grateful, but I don't even sweat it. Zhuo Qingyan knew what sort of person Shui Yufeng was now, so he waved his hand. No need. We came to North Far State and found news of her father. Her father is rather famous. I'm sending her there to meet him. Then Zhuo Qingyan said, my friend Kong Yi is Chu Xiaoyi Qianbei's grand disciple. If you don't mind, you can come to my island for a while. We don't have anything special, but we do have a lot of herbs for nourishing soul. Shui Yufeng was just about to reject, but hearing the second half of the sentence he quickly said, I was planning to guard North Far State, but now that Hong Yixing is dead my mission is over. Since Brother Zhuo invites, let's go then, what are we waiting for? Blue Moon was very fast and in a short while, he was at a barren mountain. He didn't even check where this was and he went into the Golden Page world to recover. Despite using the 3 birth chant, the wound wasn't healing and was instead getting worse. So powerful. EMO at a few pills and said in shock. He was truth realization state and a God state body refinement. His main cultivation method was the 3 birth chant and yet his wound couldn't heal. EMO sat by the bitter bamboo eating pills, but he still felt the wound healed very slowly. It was as though if he didn't tend to it, it would worsen again. The pain from the wound was unbearable. It was as though each time it hurt, a part of his soul would be grinded away. Just what is this? EMO truly realized the terror of this wound. He picked up that sword tip, but he couldn't scan his spirit sense in. EMO put the sword tip down again. He had decided to heal his wound first. It was slow, but it would eventually heal. With this, EMO started using the 3 birth chant to recover, but after 6 days EMO found that his wound only closed a third. It was getting slower and slower as well. EMO got up anxiously. He felt that even if he forcefully closed the wound, if he didn't understand the cause, this wound would still be a huge problem. Shadowless seemed to know EMO was annoyed and flew to the side. When EMO was near the bitter bamboo, it flew to the spirit herb garden. When EMO walked over there, it flew back to the bitter bamboo. Clearly, it was scared of EMO. EMO didn't mind, and when he walked to the spirit herb garden he suddenly stopped. He felt his wounds seemed to be healing here. What was going on? Was there a certain place in the Golden Page world that could heal wounds? Emo closed his eyes and felt that indeed the wound healed faster here. That satisfying feeling. It wasn't as simple as healing wound, but even his essence spirit and spirit sense was being nourished. He had this inexplicable sense of enlightenment. Emo started to move slowly. He wanted to know which position in his Golden Page world was the best for healing. 15 minutes later, Emo saw the wound that easily healed by half and exclaimed. It was here. There seemed to be a life force here that rapidly closed his wound. Just when Emo was planning to heal his wounds altogether, he saw the small sapling underneath him. It was just 10 cms tall, but there was this indescribable life force emitting from it. Emo felt he didn't need to do anything and his wounds were closing rapidly. Emo realized that his wounds were healing because of this small sapling. It was the sapling with chaos chi he got from the Abyssal River. In just half an hour, his wounds completely healed and a black chi was dispelled from the wound. Emo didn't feel uncomfortable at all. Emo touched the spot and it was extremely smooth. This is good. Emo looked at the sapling with great bliss. Chaos items were indeed not simple. He completely forgot about it after throwing it next to the spirit herb garden. This wasn't where it should stay. There was about tens of thousands of km of area in the Golden Page world. He found a special place for the sapling and moved it over. He buried 10 extreme grade spirit range below it. If it wasn't that immortal crystals were too valuable, Emo even wanted to bury some there. This was only a sapling now and it was this powerful. What if it grew into a tree? But Emo didn't know what this tree was. Thing had a complete guide to things, but there was no guide to this tree. Emo was in a good mood. He sat down and started to study the sword tip. Emo removed the restriction and the sword tip jumped around in his hands, although wanting to leave. Emo tried to spirit control this sword tip but found it was very hard. His spirit sense couldn't extend into this sword tip. When Emo forcefully sent his spirit sense into the sword tip, an ancient chi came. Before Emo could look at it closely, a chaotic slaughtering chi came. The two chi mixed together made Emo's head ache. Especially that slaughtering chi. It was as though this sword tip killed countless cultivators and devoured countless cultivator soul and blood. It still had a strong bloodlust and was sending murderous thoughts into Emo's brain. Emo quickly took back his spirit sense and forced these thoughts out. He was shook. Just what was this? Another 3 days later, Emo finally found out how Hong Yixing controlled this sword tip. He placed a shard of his essence spirit in there. It was hard for other cultivators but very easy for Hong Yixing, who often does this. Emo didn't use that way, he felt it wasn't safe. This sword tip was like a time bomb. Perhaps Hong Yixing's desire for slaughter was due to this sword tip. But Emo felt it was a waste to not use such a powerful weapon. Luckily Emo had his own way. He had purple eye soul sever. He didn't sever his essence spirit, but he placed some spirit sense on the sword tip. If necessary he could use it to attack someone like Hong Yixing, but it would be much more powerful in his hands as his spirit sense was far stronger than Hong Yixing. Emo left the Golden Page world and realized this was Mu Mountain. When he first came to Luoyu continent he came here. Now, he had established his own city in South Peace State, been to North Far State countless times. He even went to West Extreme State twice, but only his birthplace, East Black State, he still haven't been there. Thinking about the places he had been there and his master Luoying and how she was his wife now, there was a grin on Emo's mouth. Then, he thought of Jing Kuan he still hadn't killed. Perhaps I should take Susu back to East Black State, Emo murmured. Emo didn't leave as he saw a familiar person running over. It was Cheng Yejuan, the only pill king who was Golden Core State. His pill concoction talent was absurdly strong, but his power was too weak. When he was Foundation Establishment State, Cheng Yejuan was Golden Core State. Now that he was Truth Realization State, Cheng Yejuan stayed the same. He was a good person. After the Pill Concoction Hall of Fame tournament, he even came up to him to discuss pill concoction experience. But Emo knew that Cheng Yejuan came with the intent to teach him things. Emo, why are you here? Cheng Yejuan then immediately said, great that you're here. What happened? Emo asked in confusion. He didn't see anyone hunting Chang Yejuan. I heard you went to South Peace State, or I would have went to Peihai to find you. Ling Zhongtian Qianbei was found, but his dantian was heavily injured. So was his soul. The Immortal Herb Valley sect leader Ming Xian and Pill Association leader Nong Jingxian and Vice Association leader Wang Songjin are all there, but they aren't able to save him. Chang Yejuan said. Yemo dazed. Ling Zihongtian appeared? Seeing Yemo was confused, Chang Yejuan quickly said. Ling Qianbei was saved by a Qianbei called Mengzhen. Even Ling Qianbei can't see through Mengzhen's power. But that Mengzhen Qianbei left after bringing Ling Qianbei here. He said he was here to find someone. Hearing this name, Yemo soon remembered who it was. It was that cultivator who was chased by Fang Yizong. He was probably Truth Realization State Level 9. Yemo didn't expect him to chase over the Heartless Sea to North Far State. Clearly he was a warm-hearted person to send Ling Zhongtian back, but he wasn't from Luoyu continent. Who would he be looking for? What are you doing here? Yemo asked again. This place had little spirit chi. I'm here to invite Pill Cauldron sect leader Qiao. He's level 3 Pill King now. Perhaps he has a way to cure Ling Qianbei, but that's not necessary now. Yemo, come with me. Ling Zihongtian Qianbei is irreplaceable in North Far State now that 9-headed void-devouring bug appeared in North Far State. We need him to gather the power of North Far State. Chang Yejuan said genuinely. Yemo nodded. Ling Zhongtian wasn't very powerful, but he was much more charismatic than Shan Di and Tang Mengrao. Yemo smiled. I've already killed that 9-headed void-devouring bug. No need to worry. Ha! Chang Yejuan looked dazedly at Yemo. He knew Yemo was a pill concoction prodigy, but didn't know Yemo was a truth realization state cultivator. Yemo patted him. No need to be shocked. I have a way to counter it, and it was through luck that I annihilated it. So that's it. Chang Yejuan nodded dubiously. He only heard that the 9-headed void-devouring bug was ravaging North Far State. He didn't know there was a Hong Yixing with it too. Chang Yejuan added, after inviting sect leader Qiao, I was going to take the teleportation formation to Peihai City. Yemo asked in confusion. There are so many cultivators, why are you the one running around? Chang Yejuan knew that Yemo meant to say a golden core state was too slow, but he quickly explained, in order to save Ling Qianbei, everyone moved out. Those higher-level cultivators went to find spirit herb. I have the easiest job of running around. Then why are you going to Peihai City? Yemo asked again. It said that the MOU pills are very high quality. I want to see if there would be a pill suitable for Ling Qianbei. By the way, Tang Qianbei said she went to South Peace State to find someone to annihilate the 9-headed void-devouring bug. Now that you've already annihilated it, Tang Qianbei probably don't need to go. I have to tell her this if she hasn't left yet, but I'm afraid she had already gone. Chang Yejuan said. Chang Yejuan seemed to have thought of something and added Broken Leaf City Pill Association Vice Leader Wang Songjin and Sect Leader Ming Xian were chatting about how a few days ago, a cultivator whose power was unable to be seen bringing a young girl around to search for your news. They're probably looking for you. Association Leader Wang said you have business in Peihai City, so you're probably there. Yemo immediately thought of Yemo and asked desperately, what are they called? That I don't know, that person didn't say either. Chang Yejuan shook his head. Yemo didn't have the mood to go with Chang Yejuan anymore. He gave him 3 jade bottles and said, 2 of the pills are for Ling Zhongtian's wounds. Another one is a gift. The rest of the pills are yours. You know what pills they are. I'm not going with you. I'm going back to Peihai City immediately. Then Yemo took out Blue Moon and disappeared. Chang Yejuan looked at the direction Yemo disappeared in confusion and then took out those pills. His face changed immediately. This is spirit recovery pill made with 10,000-year stalagmite marrow? I can't even recognize the other pills. When Yemo opened the bottle with only 1 pill, he called out in shock, Truth Spirit Pill. Never had he thought that Yemo would give such a precious pill to him to bring to Ling Zhongtian. His heart was throbbing with this trust. He didn't think much and didn't even open the bottle for him. He quickly put them away and released his flying magic artifact and disappeared too. He didn't dare to waste time with such responsibility on him. North Far State wasn't small, but it was nothing compared to South Peace State and West Extreme State. In less than a day, Yemo arrived at Peihai City. Yemo scanned his spirit sense in. It was much more prosperous than before, with this many cultivators here. It probably had to do with the 9-headed void-devouring bug. MOU became the #1 cultivation merchant association. Yemo saw Xianxia and Li Jingguan, but he didn't see Yemo. Yemo's mood fell down immediately. He put away Blue Moon and entered Peihai. The guards all knew Yemo, and Yemo's arrival instantly spread. The city lord Chiziyu and Li Jingguan all came out to greet him. Even Shan Di ran out nervously. Tang Mengrao went to South Peace State to find Yemo, but Yemo came nad Tang Mengrao wasn't here. Shan Di couldn't hold it. He was scared of Yemo, but he still asked, "Pil King Yi." Sect leader Tang went to South Peace State to ask for your help. Yemo waved his hand. I've already annihilated that 9-headed void-devouring bug and killed that Hong Yixing. Don't worry about North Far State. Go do what you need to do. Everyone was shook. They knew the power of the 9-headed void-devouring bug and its master. Shan Di was Truth Realization State and had a forbidden technique and was very far. Thus he survived. Yet, Yemo casually said he annihilated them. Just how powerful was he now? Shan Di could tell Yemo was Truth Realization State Tertiary Stage, but he wasn't sure. This was too absurd. Yemo didn't have the mood to talk and just went back to MOU. Before Yemo even asked in the MOU meeting hall, Jin Shaoshan said desperately, Yemo has been found. Her master sent her here. It said that Yemo's master is Truth Realization State Level 9, and Yemo is Hollow Spirit State herself. Ha! Yemo got up in surprise and joy. He didn't even know what to ask. He didn't expect his guess to be right. Yemo really came back. He immediately thought of the Truth Realization State Level 9 being hunted by Hong Yixing. Was he Yemo's master? After a long while, Yemo suppressed his joy. Where is Yemo? Why don't I see her? So you quickly said, Sect leader Tang took the teleportation formation to South Peace State and was scared that the 9-headed void-devouring bug would attack here, so she took Yemo to South Peace State. Yemo was a little disappointed that he missed his daughter, but he breathed easy. With Tang Mingrao's Truth Realization State power, they were clearly fine. The teleportation formation in South Peace State was in Mo High City. There was no high-level spirit beasts there, so there was no danger. With his status in South Peace State, they would probably be fine. The teleportation formation was damaged heavily and Tang Mengrao was barely able to leave. Yemo had decided to repair it and then leave through it. Yemo was repairing the teleportation formation while helping MOU concoct some high-level pills. The 9-headed void-devouring bug was killed by Yemo, so the cultivators hiding in Peihai City all left. They all came to say goodbye to Yemo. There were quite some sects at Peihai City too. 2 days later, Yemo repaired the Peihai teleportation formation and the city emptied up. There was still a lot of people, but not as abnormal as before. The day Yemo finished repairing the teleportation formation, Yemo left North Far State. Standing at Mo High City again, Yemo exclaimed. He went from Demon Prison Forbidden Grounds to West Extreme State and then from there to North Far State. Now, he took teleportation formation back to South Peace State. Other than East Black State that he hadn't been, Luoyu Continent's 3 states were like his backyard. Yemo headed to the teleportation formation immediately. He was going to go South Peace City and then fly home to MOU City. But as soon as Yemo came here, he felt an unusual temperature. 2 Golden Core State cultivators were discussing outside the teleportation formation hall. I'm certain that female cultivator is a Truth Realization State Qianbei. She crushed that cauldron-filling state cultivator with one hand. It's definitely Cultivation Essence Giant Hand. Luan Yi has been an overlord at Mo High City because his father is a cauldron-filling state powerful being and the Vice City Lord. Now, he met someone tough. He even dared to harass Truth Realization State Qianbei's disciple. This is asking for death. But that Truth Realization State Qianbei's disciple is indeed really pretty. Yemo heard this and immediately thought of Tang Mengrao and Yemo. Was that Luan Yi harassing Yemo and was killed by Tang Mengrao? Yemo felt it wasn't so. If he encountered this, he would kill the person, but Tang Mengrao brought Yemo to South Peace State. She knew there were countless masters here. How could she be so impulsive? Suddenly, the Golden Core State cultivators found out there was someone in front of them. They couldn't see Yimo's power level, and yet he came before them without a sound. Qian Bei. The Golden Core State level 4 got up nervously. Emo nodded. I heard you guys talk about a truth realization state, Qian Bei taking a young girl here and killed the Vice City Lord and his son, right? One of them nervously said, Qian Bei, we. Emo smiled. No need to be nervous. That female cultivator is my friend, so I'm just asking. Don't worry. What happened? Do you know where she went after killing those two? Did she leave through teleportation formation? Hearing this, the two Golden Core State finally felt assured. Now that Emo asked about her, the Golden Core State level 4 quickly replied, yes. Yes, it happened on the main street. The truth realization state Qian Bei killed Luanidu. Many cultivators saw this. Then the Vice City Lord Luanchong came. He was also crushed by the Qian Bei's cultivation essence giant hand. But she didn't leave through the teleportation formation. After that, the truth realization state elder of the city came and they started fighting. Hearing this, Emo was shook. Tang Mengrao was only truth realization state level 1. How could she fight other truth realization state cultivators? He then asked desperately, then what happened? The Golden Core State shook his head, we don't know. The Mo High City Truth Realization State Qian Bei didn't want to break the city, so they went to the Heartless Sea to fight. We don't know the results. Where is the young girl? Emo asked. The Golden Core State answered, the female cultivator took the girl with her. They left towards east. The Golden Core State added, I heard the other Truth Realization State elder of the city also chased over. When was this? Emo was worried. Tang Mengrao couldn't even beat one truth realization state, much less two. Yesterday. The Golden Core State answered but realized the cultivator had disappeared. Another truth realization state Qian Bei? The two glanced at each other and quickly left this hall. Emo released Blue Moon and brought its speed to the max. He didn't know why Tang Mengrao still hadn't left Mo High City till up to yesterday, but she was in danger. Emo used his strong dimensional sense to find some space ripples. The battlegrounds of Truth Realization State Cultivator would still have some minor residue even after a day, but even Emo could only barely find it. Rumble. A huge explosion sounded in the Heartless Sea. Emo chased over without hesitation. When Emo saw the three people there, he immediately knew he completely guessed wrong. There were two bodies on the island. One man and woman were at a standoff. Both of them were Truth Realization State peak stage. The male cultivator was heavily injured. He detonated some rune, but it didn't injure the female cultivator and instead disrupted his cultivation essence. Emo didn't know this female cultivator, but she was much prettier than Tang Mengrao and had this royal temperament. More importantly, the girl watching wasn't Emo, but Emo knew her. Emo suddenly waved to the girl. Jie Yuning. Long time no see. How is your father? Emo suddenly appeared there on the island, but when the female cultivator saw Emo was only Truth Realization State level 7. The female cultivator showed a contemptuous look. She only started watching Emo again when she heard he knew the girl. You're Yi Qian Bei? The girl immediately ran to Emo's side. That's right. I'm Emo. Why aren't you with your father? It's quite some journey from your Zhuyin island to here. Why did you guys run so far? Emo smiled and asked. The girl's eyes went red and sniffed. I don't even know if my father is alive or not. We three sisters ran out with Auntie E. And then, the girl glanced at the female cultivator and didn't dare to keep talking. Emo felt the eeriness of things. Jie Yuning seemed to be scared of this truth realization state female cultivator. If she was her Auntie E, she shouldn't be scared of her. Plus, Jiefeng was truth realization state peak stage. His cultivation essence and spirit sense were very powerful. Who would dare to do anything to Zhuyin Island? Emo said to the girl, Yuning, I'm friends with your father. If you have anything, tell me. I will help you. You can leave with me. I really don't believe anyone dares to do anything to you. Emicham. Her father seemed to have told her about Emo's power and she boldened up. The female cultivator sneered. Such big words. Emo didn't know the relationship between the two, so he ignored her and said, Tell me what's going on. The girl glanced at the beautiful truth realization state peak stage female cultivator and said carefully, I'm actually Jiayokue. Yuning is my little sister. Yemo coughed awkwardly, my bad. Continue. A mere truth realization state level 7 dares to be this cocky. The female cultivator said to the young girl, Jiayokue, stand on the side. I'm going to kill Furs Dati. The heavily injured man said to Yemo, friend, this demon killed the vice city lord of Mo High City and killed 2 truth realization state elders. Her power is very powerful. We need to join up against her. Ha ha. The beautiful female cultivator laughed as though hearing a ridiculous joke. I'm also planning to annihilate the entire Mo High City. What are you going to do? The female cultivator said coldly. Yemo frowned and asked Jiayokue, who is she to you? Jiayokue didn't dare to look up and said quietly, I don't know her, but she wants to take me back to some palace to be some young palace lord. The female cultivator sneered, that's right, it's your fortune. My ice god palace young palace lord is too timid. I'm going to change one. You're lucky to be chosen by me. This beautiful female cultivator was ice god palace lord Lang Ying. She came with the big manager to come find who killed her son Lang Yu. Dayun was good, but her character was too soft. She wasn't her best choice. She was about to Immortal Ascension and couldn't find someone to replace Ting Ting, but now she saw Jiayokue in the Heartless Sea. She was young and pretty but also very talented. She favored Jiayokue immediately. Ice God Palace Lord? Emo immediately thought of Lang Yu. It seems this was really passed down the family. They were all very selfish and did what they liked. So it's Ice God Palace people. No wonder you're so selfish. Emo sneered. In the demon prison Forbidden Grounds, there was a trash called Lang Yu. I killed him because he wanted to kill my disciple. Could it be? Before Emo finished, Lang Ying's eyes were about to burst out. She went crazy and her force burst out as though about to devour Emo. So you killed my son. If I don't slice your essence spirit to pieces and burn them one by one, I swear I'm not a human. There was crazy killing intent in Lang Ying's eyes. In her eyes, only her son could kill other people and they weren't allowed to resist. Jiayokue was shook and retreated. Emo just waved his hand calmly and all his crazy killing intent was swept away as though nothing happened here. That heavily injured truth realization state cultivator was planning to run when he saw Lang Ying's attention was focused on Emo, but after seeing what Emo did, he immediately knew Emo wasn't ordinary too and stopped. Seeing this, Lang Ying dazed and the craze disappeared from her eyes. She calmed down and flung out a messenger flying sword. Emo didn't seem to see this. Lang Ying was rather strong amongst truth realization state tertiary stage, but he didn't care. Could she compare with Suoanshan Hong Yixing? She was at most a Yu Zizhen, but in fact she was far from Yu Zizhen. I remember you're the city lord Emo who killed 11 truth realization state of Pill City and annihilated 9-star sect Lightning Cloud sect and Infinity sect. The heavily injured truth realization state finally remembered who Emo was. He realized he was probably safe now. Emo was extremely powerful, unrivaled in the same state, but he never killed innocents. He had no enmity with him, so Emo probably wouldn't kill him. No matter how powerful this female cultivator, she wouldn't be able to beat Emo without a doubt. She suddenly stopped the purple gold band she released. She completely calmed down now. Emo easily annihilating her killing force made her take him seriously but not feel threatened. But this truth realization state on the side said he killed 11 truth realization states and annihilated 2 9-star sections. This made her not only feel threatened but astonished. She rarely came to South Peace State, but it didn't mean she didn't know Pill City, Lightning Cloud sect and Infinity sect. Any of them were on par with her Ice God Palace. This guy could annihilate these 2 sects and challenge the Pill City. Didn't that mean he could easily annihilate her Ice God Palace? She was protective and trusted in her power, but she was no idiot. Seeing her fury retreat, Emo said calmly, weren't you going to tear my essence spirit to pieces and burn them one by one? Why don't you attack? If you're not going to fight, I'm going to go. I don't like to fight women. Jiayokue watched with surprise and joy. She could tell this palace lord felt very threatened by Emo. Lang Ying finally couldn't bear the scorn and released her purple gold band. Purple gold light covered the heavens as they swept towards Emo. The truth realization state quickly retreated. He knew that if this band formed a humanoid wave ring, cultivation essence and even spirit sense would be bound. He was bound by that and in his worry detonated a rune to escape. He thought Yimo would be very powerful and Lang Ying wouldn't be able to do anything to him. However, Yimo was caught in one round. The band had no form, but it looked like a colorful rope wrapping Yimo tightly. This magic artifact was so powerful. This was the first time Yimo saw a magic artifact that could bind cultivation essence and spirit sense. However, it was useless to him. Lang Ying didn't expect her to succeed this quickly. She was overjoyed. She thought she would need to use her 13 purple gold sword self-destruction to injure Yimo. She knew that by the time her magic artifact formed a humanoid wave, no one would be able to break free. There was a cruel look on Lang Ying's face seeing that her magic artifact bound Yimo. She kept inserting cultivation essence in wanting to completely bind Yimo. Yimo sneered and released a few spirit sense blades. The waved band immediately were falling apart. Before Lang Ying could react, Zissou hacked out. Thud. Lang Ying felt the backlash of her magic artifact and immediately spat a few mouthful of blood. She completely don't understand how Yimo broke free. She quickly used a few more hand signs before the band completely collapsed. 13 purple gold flying sword flew out faster than lightning. Rumble. The sword rays tore through space creating waves of distortion ripples. The battle was in an instant and there were multiple explosions. The injured truth realization state peak stage looked dazedly at the 13 swords and realized she didn't use her full power when fighting him. Lang Ying breathed easy. The self-destruction of her 13 purple gold sword made her lose a top-grade magic artifact, but she finally killed him. Moments later, she was completely dumbfounded. Yimo appeared after the explosions, only his hair was a little messy. You? She really didn't understand how Yimo was fine. Even a body refinement cultivator wouldn't be able to survive that unscathed. Yet Yimo was perfectly fine. Yimo was very annoyed. The self-destruction was so fast that even he didn't react fast enough. Before Lang Ying could react, Zissou hacked out Illusion Cloud Hua Mountain. Seeing this, Lang Ying wanted to retreat, but she felt that space around her had turned to solid. Just taking one step back was extremely hard. Such powerful domain. Lang Ying looked at the nearing purple ray in despair. Lang Ying saw the big elder Wang Wan, but she didn't have much anticipation. Even she was no match for this absurd young man, much less Wang Wan. She hoped Wang Wan would be able to save her essence spirit. Wang Wan just got here and saw Yimo kill Lang Ying with one strike. He was scared soulless. He knew the power of the Palace Lord too well. He definitely couldn't beat her. It's been a while since Palace Lord asked for help, and thus it was clear that the young man beat the Palace Lord head-on. Facing such person, going over was suicide. Without hesitation, he released all his power and the rainbow cloud in the sky rustled. You actually started your immortal ascension, divine damnation. Lang Ying looked at Wang Wan in fury. She was hoping for her loyal big elder to save her essence spirit, but he instantly went to immortal ascension. Purple flame moved and Lang Ying couldn't keep thinking anymore. Yimo didn't know that killing Lang Ying equaled to saving Ting Ting and Njichi. He didn't like to leave threats behind. Since there was already conflict between them, he might as well end it now. Seeing Wang Wan suddenly go immortal ascension, he immediately knew this guy was from Ice God Palace, but now, he couldn't kill him in time. Thank you, City Lord Yi, for saving me. I'm number 1 elder of Mo High City Chiu Baiyu. This demon killed the Vice City Lord and 2 Truth Realization State elders. If City Lord Yi didn't come over, I would be dead for sure. Chiu Baiyu was very grateful to Yimo. Yimo said calmly, how come I heard that Vice City Lord is very murderous? If I see that type of trash, I would kill him too. Are you going to hunt me down, Elder Chiu? Chiu Baiyu immediately knew that Yimo had a very bad impression of the Vice City Lord. I wouldn't dare. The Vice City Lord spoils his son to dominate the city. I've long disliked this too. Yimo said, oh, and couldn't be bothered talking to this guy anymore. He clearly knew what the Vice City Lord did but still didn't do anything. Seeing Yimo have no intentions of talking, Jiayokue didn't dare to keep staying here. He quickly saluted with his fists. Mo High City is very chaotic now. I need to go back and check. If there are more people like Luanchong, I definitely will kill them. He was a truth realization state peak stage cultivator after all. And Yemo didn't want him to look too bad, so he waved his hand in that case. Go do what you need to do, Elder Chiu. Yes. Thank you, City Lord Yi. Chiu Baiyu didn't dare to stay anymore and took the 2 bodies of the Mo High City elders and left. Yemo didn't know his few casual words changed the culture at Mo High City. When Chiu Baiyu got back, he didn't show any mercy on those domineering cultivators. Eventually, Mo High City grew to a city more prosperous than the South Peace City. Then, Yokue went up and thanked Yokue thank Yi Qianbei for helping. Yemo waved his hand signaling her not to be pursued and asked, "What happened at Juin Island? How is your father?" Yokue's eyes went red. "We were fine, but a few months ago, Peng Island Uzesian suddenly attacked." Hearing this, Yemo understood what happened. Jiefeng definitely was no match for Uzesian. She was a mad woman. She did that either for the spirit nourishing well or brought her fury on the island for no reason. Little did Yemo know, the reason Uzesian was going to kill Jiefeng was also due to Lan Chirue's words. My dad knew he was no match for Uzesian, so he let Auntie E take us sisters and leave. He stopped Uzesian and she didn't chase up indeed, but I'm worried about my father. Yokue cried. Yemo fell silent. If it was something that just happened, he could go help, but now it had been a few months. How did you fall into the hands of the ice god Palace Lord? Yemo changed the subject. Yokue sniffed. My dad wanted me to go to South Peace State and ask for help from you. Auntie E was heading towards South Peace State, but on the way we encountered a level 10 spirit beast. In the fight we got separated. Before I could find them, that Palace Lord just took me away. What power is your Auntie E? Where did you guys get separated? Truth realization state primary stage. I don't know where we got lost. It was far beyond the range of the Zhuyin Island. I've never been there. Yemo nodded. A truth realization state primary stage should be fine against a level 10 beast. Don't worry. I'm going to South Peace State now. Are you coming with me? I'm willing to go with Yi Qianbei. Yokue said without hesitation. Yemo released Blue Moon and sped off towards home. He couldn't even be bothered taking the teleportation formation. It would waste some time getting on and off, as it was like taking the plane. Ice God Palace. Yun Tingting and Njichi were sitting in the room nervously discussing. Sister Chichi, did Elder Tu and Elder Peng really confirm they will be on our side? I'm still a bit nervous. Ting Ting said again and again. Njichi said helplessly, Ting Ting, stop being so indecisive. If the Palace Lord Immortal ascends, you're the Palace Lord. Elder Tu is your teacher. He's not your master, but there's still a relationship there. He will definitely support you being Palace Lord. Elder Peng is my martial ancestor. I've mentioned it to my master. Master said his master would support you being Palace Lord. And Njichi then said, there's 5 elders altogether now. There's an Elder Lu. Palace Lord reproached him before he left, and Lang Yu's death is related to him. After Palace Lord ascends, he probably will support you, but we need to show our goodwill first. Sister Chichi, is that why you've been telling me to say good morning to them? Yun Tingting asked, and Zihiki nodded, of course. Those elders are all very cunning. They would know what you mean, but it's fine. As long as you show your respect, they would have a good impression of you. Plus, we're in a lot of danger. If we can't grab power before the 2 other sons are back, good things won't await us. Just when Ting Ting nodded, he felt the restriction outside shake. She quickly signaled to Njichi and opened the door. Mushin, what happened? Ting Ting looked at the worried girl and asked. Sister Ting Ting, save me, save me. Muexine knelt down immediately. Njichi pulled Mushin in and closed the door, signaling Ting Ting to put the restriction on. Ting Ting did so already. What happened, Mushin? Don't worry, speak slowly. Ting Ting said. Mushin sniffed just then. Palace Lord's soul card shattered. She clearly thought of Xiao Ji's fate. What? Ting Ting and Njichi were shook and couldn't speak a word. Njichi reacted first and said to Mushin, don't worry. Go back and wait for news. Palace Lord Ting Ting will do her best to help you. Seeing Mushin leave, Ting Ting asked in confusion, Sister Chi-Chi, do you have something to tell me? And Chi-Chi grabbed Ting Ting's hand in excitement. Ting Ting, is an opportunity. You should hold a meeting and use this to grab the power of the Palace Lord. I believe you don't need me to teach you what to do. Hurry up. The quicker you do this, the better. Huh? Ting Ting dazed and subconsciously said, even if something happened to the Palace Lord, Big Elder is still there. We didn't ask Mushin? And Chi-Chi quickly said, I intentionally didn't ask. Just say you cared too much about the Palace Lord and don't have the mood to ask about Big Elder. He wouldn't be in a good position himself. It would be better to ask during the meeting. Then, and Chi-Chi added, I had a worry that I didn't tell you. Palace Lord had the intention of removing you. If you're not the young Palace Lord, you would be the sex slave of her 2 sons. I won't be better off myself. You need to use this opportunity. The person who killed the Palace Lord pretty much saved our lives. He's really a good person. Okay. This time Ting Ting didn't hesitate and nodded firmly. In the most grandiose palace in the Ice God Palace, all the elders and managers appeared here. However, the difference was that instead of the Palace Lord, it was a young girl sitting on the throne. The Mushin girl knelt in the palace shivering. The palace was dead silent and even the elders frowned. No one spoke. Ting Ting was nervous but thinking about her discussion with Sister Chi-Chi before. She forced herself to calm down. Quite some things have been happening to Ice God Palace lately. After second young master died in South Peace State, our Palace Lord also died in South Peace State. I'm very sad. I don't know what to do. Elders, please indicate what the Ice God Palace should do. This was the method they decided. She would place herself in a very low position in front of these elders. She must let them know that only if she was the Palace Lord would they have the greatest benefits. One Truth Realization State Level 9 Elder nodded. He was happy with Ting Ting's attitude. He was about to be Truth Realization State Peak Stage. He had no desire for power. He needed respect and cultivation resources. Elder Lu Shiju stood out and asked Mushin, are there any news of Big Elder Wangwen? Mushin said shakily, when I saw Palace Lord's soul card shatter, I was out of my mind. Later, I saw Big Elder's soul card didn't shatter but it turned pure white. Immortal Ascension. Hearing this, they immediately knew Great Elder ascended to the immortal realm. They glanced at each other and looked confused. Theoretically, it should be Big Elder's soul card shattering and Palace Lord ascending. But reality was opposite what was going on. Mushin was very nervous, but no one cared about someone insignificant like her and no one said she should die too. Ting Ting waved her hand, go back first and keep guarding the soul cards. Report to the elders or me immediately if new situation arises. Yes. Mushin resisted her excitement and retreated. She didn't hear the Palace Lord or the elders asking her to die. The managers realized what Ting Ting meant too. But this wasn't in accord with the rules. Not long ago, the Palace Lord said the Soul Card Watcher must die after the soul card shattered. However, this manner of breaking rules made on Cauldron Filling State Manager able to resist. He walked out and saluted to the elders first before casually saluting to Ting Ting. Clearly, his actions meant that the young Palace Lord was below the elders. Ting Ting was nervous. She knew at this moment she needed to assert her dominance, but she didn't have any capabilities to do so. Then, the manager said, young Palace Lord. Palace Lord said last time that the Ice God Palace rules must not be broken. But it's only been a few days and our rule has been broken? The Palace Lord's soul card shattered, but young Palace Lord didn't let the young girl watching it to die. Yen Miaopei don't understood. Please enlighten me, young Palace Lord. Mushin almost fell to the floor hearing this. Seeing everyone look at her. Ting Ting knew she had to assert her dominance or she might die immediately. Even if no elders supported her, she needed to show her temperament. Ting Ting sneered, Manager Yen, let me ask you. When the Palace Lord ascends or unfortunately dies, what is the rule of the Ice God Palace? Do we not have a Palace Lord? Yen Miaopei was shook. He realized he seemed to have said something wrong. He didn't dare to not answer her and quickly said, of course not. In such event, the Palace Lord will be immediately succeeded by the young Palace Lord. If there is no young Palace Lord, then the Palace Lord will be decided by the elders. Ting Ting said sadly, "The previous palace lord is my master. Her death hurt me greatly." Then her tone suddenly changed. She slammed the table and got up, pointing at Manager Yen, yelling, "The Ice God Palace rules are strict, but what did you do? According to the rules, I'm the Palace Lord now, and yet all you call me is Young Palace Lord? Do you think your power is greater than the elders? Are you going to take away my position as Palace Lord?" Yen Miaopei was shook. He didn't expect the timid young Palace Lord would change so much after the Palace Lord was dead. He sneaked a glance at the other managers and elders. No one came out to speak. He was regretting, but he still said, "Palace Lord. My wrong choice of words, but our Ice God Palace rules." Ting Ting sneered and interrupted. "Who decides the Ice God Palace rules? Of course the previous Palace Lord." Yen Miaopei suddenly felt there were some holes in his words. Ting Ting said pitifully, "Our Ice God Palace had survived for tens of thousands of years, and now we go through hardship again. If we kill our own people because of this, wouldn't the enemy be joyful instead?" At this moment, one truth realization state elder got up and said, "Palace Lord is right, but Yen Miopi offended Palace Lord. He needs to be punished by the Palace Lord," seeing that it was Chi-Chi's martial ancestor helping her at a critical moment. If no elders reacted to her words just then, it wouldn't be convincing at all. Yen Miaopei immediately knew he made a big mistake and quickly bowed. "It's my fault. Please punish me, Palace Lord." A cold voice sounded. "Since you dare to offend the Palace Lord, then there's no need for punishment." A cultivation essence giant hand reached over and crushed him into bloody mist. What surprised everyone was that this was Lu Shizhu. Soon, Ting Ting knew this was a signal that Lu Shizhu was going to help her. She quickly said, "Now that a big disaster has fallen upon us, but we're lucky to still have the elders here. But since he can defeat our Palace Lord, it wouldn't be wise for us to attack. In order to get revenge for the Palace Lord, I suggest we return to the rules before and seal the palace for 50 years. Elders can try to improve their power. After 50 years, when our power reach a certain level, we must get revenge for Palace Lord." This 50 years was enough for them to grow in power. The managers looked at each other. If the palace was sealed for 50 years, what about the young masters? Clearly the Palace Lord didn't want them to come back. Getting revenge 50 years later was a joke. But no elders said anything. To them, cultivation was the most important thing. Sealing the palace meant they had less business and more time for cultivation. Lang Ying was too harsh in her means and took most of the cultivation resources. Thus, there was no elder who was truly loyal to her. When Ting Ting took over, the top-grade resources would be open to the elders and thus won over their support instead. As for the two sons of the previous Palace Lord, who would care about their life and death? Plus, the 50 years' revenge spoke into the hearts of the elders. If even the Palace Lord and the Big Elder were no match for that person, just how powerful would that person be? Seeking revenge was asking for death. Now that the Palace Lord said this, they were happy to play dumb. After the meeting ended, Ting Ting still didn't believe she easily won power like this. The support of one elder was enough, much less three. But she didn't expect that the greater surprise was to come. Ting Ting went to the Palace Lord cultivation room immediately. And Jiqi told her she must control this place first, as it had been the cultivation grounds of all the Palace Lord. The reason the Palace Lord grows so fast is greatly due to this other than their own talent. Only the next Palace Lord had been able to come in here, but the condition was that the previous Palace Lord died or Immortal ascended. Ting Ting opened the cultivation room restriction and went into the cultivation room. Seeing everything inside, she was truly awestruck. She was a young Palace Lord and had a truth realization state level 9 master. Although her master didn't treat her that well, she would still give her 1 or 2 extreme grade spirit range occasionally. But seeing the large amounts of top-grade materials, a row cultivation jade slips, and a huge spirit marrow pond, the spirit chi was so dense that it was viscous. She didn't even need to cultivate to feel her power growing. There were circles and circles of extreme-grade spirit stones on the side. Ting Ting knew that her cultivation level would be going straight up from now on. However, she couldn't bring in Jiqi in here, but there were so many good things, she could bring some out for her. For the first time, she felt power was a good thing. If she wasn't Palace Lord, she wouldn't even dare to think about coming here. This is Mou City? It's so beautiful. Much prettier than my Inju Island. Jiayokue exclaimed. Emo immediately sent a messenger flying sword out when he got to South Peace State, but there was still no reply. Just when Jiayokue was about to ask, she found the flying magic artifact below her shake. She subconsciously looked at Emo and saw Emo look excitedly at a blue-dressed girl standing on the grass in front. Dad! Emo also saw Emo and called out in joy. She ran up. Although her master was very nice to her, she had always been thinking about home. Now that she saw her father again, she had a home again. Emo hugged his daughter and suddenly eased up. Emo had grown up a little but was still like the little girl all those years ago. He finally didn't have to worry about his daughter. Feeling her dad's excitement, Emo regretted. She should have left with Sister Jean-Gwen. And Emo remembered she couldn't say Sister Jean-Gwen anymore. Dad, sorry. I should have told Master to bring me to find you earlier. Emo cried in Emo's arms. She knew her dad searched the entire North Far State to find her. It's okay. It's all good now that you're back. Emo looked up and saw Song Yangzhu, Luoying, Su Jingwen and them. Emo was back, so was Emo. Everyone was overjoyed to see each other. The sliver of worry in Song Yangzhu's eyes were gone. Her only worry was Emo, and now that she was fine, everything was good. They intentionally didn't reply to Yemo's messenger flying sword just so they could give Yemo a surprise here. Yemo introduced Jiayokue to everyone. Seeing Yemo finding her father, but she didn't know if her father was even alive, Jiayokue's mood gloomed down again. Yemo thought of something and took out a storage ring. Dad, this is for you to eat. Yemo took the storage ring and scanned inside. There was a stack of blue whey fruits. They were level 6 spirit herb and very delicious. Emo patted Yemo's head, feeling very happy. He helped her keep all sorts of spirit herbs and the 12 lightning orbs. His daughter also remembered him and kept so many blue whey fruits for him. However, Emo didn't plan to give the 12 lightning orbs to her yet. When they got back, he would get her a new cultivation method and teach her lightning sword. Then, he would give the orbs to her. He believed that with his special customization of cultivation method for her, the 12 lightning orbs would be much stronger in her hands than Suo Anshan. Emo thought of Tang Mengrao and asked, "Didn't sect leader Tang bring Emo here? Where is she?" Auntie Tang was asked by Marshal Auntie Ming Xian to go see Qin Mushin in the Heartless Valley. Emo quickly said, "By the way, is your master a gray-robed cultivator? Truth realization state level 9? Emo thought of the cultivator being hunted by Hong Yixing. Emo quickly said, "Yes. Dad, you didn't fight with him, right?" Emo smiled. "How can I? He was being hunted and I helped him." "I knew it." Emo said, "When I was with Jean Gwen, Auntie, he smashed a mountain and said he was stronger than you. Now that I think about it, he's tricking me." "Dad, you were probably truth realization state at the time, right?" Emo shook his head. "No, he didn't trick you. He was indeed stronger than me at the time. At that time, Emo was probably just foundation establishment state. Your master is very nice to you. Your master must have paid a huge price for you to reach hollow spirit state at this age with your talent." Emo knew Yemo's spirit root was good but far from Xianxia and them. Emo quickly said, "Yes, master treats me the best. I can't even finish using all sorts of pills and spirit stones." Seeing the father and daughter can't stop talking, Song Yangzhu quickly aimed and said, "Let's go back first." Then, Emo smiled apologetically to Luo Ying, Xianxia and them before giving everyone a hug. Back at Mou City, Emo revised a new cultivation method and gave it to Emo. Then he gave the 12 lightning orbs to her. Her original magic artifact was a low-grade cultivation artifact, lightning chain. This was quite good for her. But compared to the 12 lightning orbs, it was a bit lacking. Emo was very happy with the 12 lightning orbs. Her equipments greatly changed up too. Her flying cultivation artifact became extreme grade 2. Emo spoiled Emo and almost gave all the good things to her. Song Yangzhu and them were even a little envious watching this. Knowing that Emo was already truth realization state level 7, everyone felt a sense of urgency, even Luo Ying. He wasn't far from Truth Realization State Level 9, and if he reached Truth Realization State Level 9 and ascended, what would they do? Yi Ling was the most worried and almost went into solitary cultivation. Su Jingwen felt the easiest, she had the best spirit root and was the strongest amongst them. She was about to reach body condensation state in a while. Everyone desperately wanted to speed up cultivation. Luckily Yimo had a lot of immortal crystals. He couldn't let them use time formation disk without restraint, but it was fine occasionally. It was fine for Yimo to use the time formation disk as he had bitter bamboo and his mind state would be very stable. But the others couldn't enjoy that. From what happened at the Abyssal River, if he let out the entire bitter bamboo, would the immortal realm cultivators know about it too? He didn't dare to take this risk. In order to set up cultivation place, Yimo put in a lot of effort. He set up a spirit-nourishing well at the Mou City Lake. Then, he mimicked the Chu 18 discs and set one up. He took out all sorts of pills without restraint. As for immortal crystals, he kept 300 to himself to reach Truth Realization State peak stage. He split the rest as well. With everyone getting their cultivation resources, they all went into solitary cultivation. Yimo went into solitary cultivation himself. He had never settled to cultivate during his journey. Now that Yimo came back, he breathed easy. The only shame was that Mu Xiaoyun was still nowhere to be seen. He also felt guilty about Luo Xian going missing. He reached Qi Gathering Level 4 and got the Golden Page World due to her, but this cute girl was missing too. Yimo cultivated Heaven Flame 9 Suns, Purple Eye Soul Sever and 5 Element Mobility. He didn't want to increase his cultivation level. He knew that he was Truth Realization State Level 7, but it would be extremely hard to find a match on Luoyu continent. He didn't want to go to the immortal realm alone. South Peace State seemed to have settled after the Pill City breaking apart, the annihilation of 29 star sects, and the incident at the Demon Prison Forbidden Grounds. Perhaps because too many immortal demon crystals flowed out and Mou City's Vice City Flowing Snake City sold too many pills, most cultivators went into a solitary cultivation craze. Ning Qingxue named the city Flowing Snake in remembrance of the truly meaningful starting point of their relationship. The name was very average, but the city wanced at all. It was getting more and more prosperous. Any cultivator wanted to come trade here. There were all the pills you wanted here. Even if you wanted Truth Realization Pill and Disaster Life Pill, you could make an order and come to an auction. As long as you had spirit stones or precious materials and spirit herb, you could buy anything from Mou Mall. From essence increasing pill to truth realization pill, from low-grade magic artifact to extreme-grade cultivation artifact, there was only things you couldn't afford, not things you couldn't find. Of course you could choose other merchant associations pills, but for above heaven grade level 4 and middle grade cultivation artifact, you could only go to Mou Mall. Flowing Snake changed the situation in South Peace State and even the entire Luoyu continent. Truth Spirit Pill that couldn't be bought and Extreme Grade Cultivation Artifact as well as Heaven Grade Level 6 pills could all be bought now. Cultivators from Qi Gathering to Truth Realization State all went to Flowing Snake City. Although more wanted to go to Mou City, but it wasn't easy to settle there. More importantly, one could buy whatever they wanted in Flowing Snake City without needing to worry about being robbed. If this happened, no matter who would be unable to leave the city and annihilated by city guards. But no one dares to cause trouble here. Everyone knew who the city belonged to. Level 9 Pill King, the person who annihilated 11 Pill City Truth Realization State cultivators by himself. One who annihilated 2 9-star sects and saved countless cultivators from the Demon Prison Forbidden Grounds, City Lord Yi Yimo. Meanwhile, the once very prosperous Pill City started to decline. There were less and less people day by day. Some Truth Realization State cultivators even secretly left the Pill City and headed to Flowing Snake to settle. It was only a matter of time before Flowing Snake surpassed Pill City. Yimo settled his mind to go into solitary cultivation to cultivate the Heaven Flame 9 Suns, but he was called out. It was Yu Qichao, there was also Ji Ling and Xin Guanqing with him. Even the Truth Realization State Elder Lin Ji came out. Ji Ling passed down the sect leader of all formation sect and stayed at Mou City. What happened? Yimo had a bad feeling. Xin Guanqing said heavily other Pill City, the sect leaders of the 9-star sects Jin Gang Temple, Godwind Valley, Black Ice Sect, Clear Dream Mosque, Abstruse Sound Sect, Heaven Demon Sect all came to MOU City. 8-star sects such as Heartless Valley, Heaven Herb Lake, Heaven Star Sect, Golden Sword Sect all came. They're waiting for you at the City Lord Estate Guest Hall. What happened? EMO frowned. If all the sect leaders of the top-grade sects of South Peace State came, clearly it was no small thing. Yu Chichao, the great disaster of South Peace State, is probably here. Countless sand-like spirit beasts have ravaged sections. Quite a few 6-star and below sects have been annihilated. They have this natural ability to devour essence spirit. Sand soul beasts. EMO was shook. Were they not slaughtered clean? He clearly sealed the demon prison forbidden grounds. Yu Chichao looked at EMO strangely. You've seen them before? Are they called sand soul beasts? But there's too many of them. There's about 10 million or more. The highest level is level 10. EMO breathed easy instead. Luckily, he slaughtered them inside the forbidden grounds, or they would truly be over. 10 million wasn't enough for him to kill. It was no big deal. This was no cultivation realm disaster. It was done by that guy called Lu Zhengxuan. This isn't it. It said that the fire-eating bug demon appeared again. He appeared at the same time as those sand soul beasts. One in the south, one in the north. He's more cocky than 10,000 years ago. He annihilated more than 10 small sects immediately. On top of that, problems occurred at the Ice God Forbidden Grounds, and Flame Sea Forbidden Grounds too. Countless spirit-devouring bugs flew out of the Ice God Forbidden Grounds, and the flames of the Flame Sea Forbidden Grounds are reaching out. Although it hadn't harmed any sect yet, but it's sooner or later. If this continues, South Peace State would be dead for sure. EMO got up abruptly. He was certain that the person knew he took the small sapling. So these disaster that was supposed to occur a few hundred years later occurred now. Then what about the other few states? EMO began to worry. No matter how powerful he was, he couldn't deal with all these himself. Let's go to the guest hall immediately. EMO got up and said. The MOU City Lord Estate guest hall was filled with people. Any of them were very famous in South Peace State, either a sect leader or some 9-star sect elder. But now, they were all anxious and no one wanted to say anything. They were all waiting for someone, and that was MOU City Lord EMO. No one showed impatience while waiting them. Sorry for making you all wait so long. EMO appeared at the entrance. Everyone breathed easy. It was good as long as EMO came. Some were worried about EMO not wanting to mind this matter because the MOU City defense formation were impeccable. Shan Bingfeng got up and said, EMO, let me introduce. EMO quickly saluted with his fists. Okay. Thank you, Shan Qianbei. He didn't know most of the people here despite them all knowing him. Shan Bingfeng nodded. Jin Gang Temple head monk Chen Wei, Black Ice sect leader Yen Guan, Godwind Valley sect leader Mo Ming, Abstruse Sound sect leader Jing Fengji, core disciple Jing Yingmeng, Heaven Demon sect leader Shi Luan Goddess, Elder Liao, Golden Sword sect leader Wen Ziren, Ethereal Immortal Pond sect leader Ho Fei Goddess, Heaven Star sect leader Ji Shai, Heartless Valley sect leader Hai En, Heaven Herb Lake sect leader Bai Lian. EMO greeted them all. Ho Fei Goddess was Disaster Transformation State Level 7 and still extremely beautiful. This was the first time EMO saw Jing Fengji, but he had seen the girl behind him, one of South Peace State 10 Beauty. EMO knew Lu Yao of Heaven Demon Sect. She helped him quite a bit at Black Ice Sect and was heavily injured for sending him to MOU City. So, EMO was very hospitable and thankful seeing her. She was a Disaster Transformation State Level 1 cultivator, but her pill was sent over by EMO. There were a lot of people here, but not many Truth Realization State cultivators. The strongest was Heaven Demon Sect Shi Luan, Truth Realization State Level 7. Then Jing Fengji Truth Realization State Level 4. Jin Gang Temple Qian Wei Truth Realization State Level 3. Godwind Valley Mo Ming and Shan Bingfeng were both Truth Realization State Level 2. The rest were Disaster Transformation State cultivators. Those who came were representatives, not necessarily the strongest in the sect. After everyone was introduced, EMO let everyone sit down and took out spirit fruits and spirit wine from his storage ring, sending it to everyone. It was customs to treat guests with spirit fruits. EMO had large sums of level 6 blue wei fruit, but he couldn't bear to take them out. It was given to him by Yimo. Of course, Yimo wouldn't be taking out low-level things. These spirit fruits were all level 8 snow peaches from West Extreme State. Could cure pill poison while condensing one's cultivation essence. It also tasted very delicious. Its level 8 spirit fruit snow peach, Heaven Herb Lake sect leader Bai Lian was the first to recognize. Who didn't know how precious level 8 spirit fruits were, but Mou City Lord casually took out so many to treat guests. Was he generous, showing off, or just wasting things? Heaven Demon Sect Shi Luan Goddess sighed. City Lord Yi. You're really generous. Not only did you use snow peach to treat us, but also top-grade spirit herb produced cultivation condensation wine. Both are good for removing pill poison and condensing cultivation essence. It seems City Lord knows that the pill poisons in our bodies are still there. Luan Shi, thank you. Then Luan Shi got out and bowed. Luan 11 was on par with Ho Fei in terms of looks and looked even more vibrant. Emo could tell that although this woman was Truth Realization State level 7, she was on par with ordinary Truth Realization State level 9. Seeing this, everyone all came out to thank Emo. Emo signaled them to sit down before saying, I've seen those sand beasts. They're called sand soul beasts. I've killed quite a lot in the demon prison Forbidden Grounds, but I didn't expect more to come out. Their main method of attack is Soul Devour. They could destabilize Cultivator Essence Spirit. If you can't resist the Soul Devour, then the only way is to kill it quickly. So they're Sand Soul Beasts. City Lord Yi, your method is good, but you don't know how many there are. There's just too many, there's 10 million. With this many, they can easily annihilate South Peace State. We can't kill that many at one time. Heartless Valley Haiyan said. Haiyan was a female cultivator, but she was far from as good-looking as Ho Fei and Luan 11. She wasn't scorning Emo, but it was striking his face a little. Emo didn't care. Those sand soul beasts were nothing. He killed a few 100 million in the Forbidden Grounds before, otherwise the sect leader wouldn't be sitting here talking to him like this. But Emo didn't say that as it was too shocking. People can't even begin to imagine how powerful his cultivation essence and illusion cloud domain kill strike was. Yen Guan was scared high and would anger Emo, so he quickly said, the greatest danger is currently the soul sand beasts. As for the fire-eating bug demon, we heard he annihilated 6-star sect Ju Fu Mountain. We don't know why he's staying there, but he's the least worry now. Emo nodded. In that case, then please all go stop the flames of Flame Sea from spilling. If you guys can stop it for half a month, I can annihilate the sand soul beasts and the spirit-devouring bugs and then make way to Sea Flame Forbidden Grounds. You're going to deal with the sand soul beasts and spirit-devouring bugs by yourself? A clear voice sounded in the hall. It was full of disbelief. Meng don't be rude. Jing Fengji was prideful, but he knew Yemo's power greatly. He apologized to Yemo. My daughter has not seen the bigger world. Please forgive her, City Lord Yi. Yemo waved his hand. If everyone trusts me, we'll do this. Otherwise, hesitating for longer would only result in more sects being annihilated and countless cultivators dying. I agree with City Lord Ye's opinion, but I can bring my Jin Gang Temple people to stop the spirit-devouring bugs for 7 days. If City Lord Yi can support me within 7 days, we would be fine. I think the rest of the people should follow City Lord Ye's will and go stop the Flame Sea eruptions. Jin Gang Temple Chen Wei got up and supported. I agree to City Lord Yi and Chen Wei head monk. Shan Bingfeng conformed. With these two agreeing, the rest all got up and agreed. Some people were dubious, but no one said anything. After all, Yemo did kill 11 Truth Realization State cultivators in a row. Who was to be sure he couldn't annihilate the Sand Soul Beasts? Plus, according to Yemo, he had encountered them before. Yemo said, in that case, let's go to work. Where are the Sand Soul Beasts? They're at the extreme south Qinghai sect. After annihilating them, they're heading towards middle of South Peace State. They're probably entered the mainland now. The spirit-devouring bugs are near the first mainland sect, Ice Sword sect. We've notified the sect's people to leave. We don't exactly know where they are, but wherever they pass, no life exists. Golden Sword sect leader Wenziren replied. In that case, let's move out now. Yemo said without hesitation. When everyone had left, Emo told you Chichao and Jiling and them to not leave Mou City no matter what. If something happened at Mou City, they should send messenger flying sword to him immediately. To Mo, South Peace State was important, but Mou City was more important. After that, Mo released Blue Moon and left Mou City heading towards Songhai Sect. Mo didn't immediately go to Qinghai Sect after leaving Mou City. He went to the Demon Prison Forbidden Grounds. If these Sand Soul Beasts all came out of the Demon Prison Forbidden Grounds, he would immediately seal that place. It was easy to kill Sand Soul Beasts, but if he didn't cut the disaster from the source. As soon as Mo came out of the Demon Prison Forbidden Grounds, Mo knew that these Sand Soul Beasts didn't come from the Demon Prison Forbidden Grounds. The seal was perfect, and there was no way Sand Soul Beasts from there. Mo frowned. If there was another place like the Demon Prison Forbidden Grounds with also a few 100 million Sand Soul Beasts, what would happen if they all came out? Qinghai Sect was on the south, but it was very far from the Ice God Forbidden Grounds. Ice God Forbidden Grounds was extreme south near west. Qinghai Sect was extreme south near east. Qinghai Sect was just a 6-star sect. It was near the border and not very famous in South Peace State. At this moment, there was not even a wild beast there, much less surviving cultivators. There was only huge mouth spirit beasts that were made up of fine sands. The bodies of these spirit beasts were everywhere. There were a few 100,000 of them. The nearest sect to the Qinghai Sect was Fusion Joy Sect. This was a 7-star sect. But at this sect, everyone had a pale face because outside the sect defense formation, it was filled with densely cluttered Sand Soul Beasts. No one could count how many Sand Soul Beasts there were. The Fusion Joy Sect leader was beginning to regret that he didn't leave in time. He knew this wasn't his fault. How could a 7-star sect just easily give up their sect grounds? Plus, their defense formation is on par with 9-star sect. It was level 9 peak defense formation. The sect had a few thousand cultivators too. It should be fine to use the defense formation to defend against the Sand Soul Beast's onslaught for half a month. If they do, then the big sects from the South Peace State would come to support them. After all, the news they got was that there would be no more than a few million Sand Soul Beasts. Now, everyone in the sect realized how big this mistake was. This wasn't a few million Sand Soul Beasts. This was at least 70 million Sand Soul Beasts. There were endless waves of Sand Soul Beasts. Now, not just the ground but the sky above the sect was filled with Sand Soul Beasts. These Sand Soul Beasts kept coming over. A large gray patch. One couldn't even see the sky. Even with the level 9 defense formation, they wouldn't be able to last half a day, and this was mainly because only a limited number of Sand Soul Beasts could attack the formation. Otherwise, even if a tenth of all the South Peace State cultivators came, they would be heavily injured. Mo didn't stop at Qinghai Sect and immediately chased off at the direction the Sand Soul Beasts went. On the way, he saw a few destroyed cultivation cities. By the time Mo got to Fusion Joy Sect, their defense formation was about to fall. He had heard of this sect as there was a female cultivator called Du Xiaoying in here, one of South Peace State 10 beauties. Looking at the dense cluster of Sand Soul Beasts, Mo realized that Golden Sword Sect when Xiron's intel was completely garbage. There wasn't just a few million here. There was about 100 million. Mo was shook. If South Peace State cultivators can't gather together quickly, these Sand Soul Beasts would be enough to gradually annihilate the South Peace State. Luckily, he came here in time. After he annihilated these Sand Soul Beasts, he would have to find out where they came from. To Mo, he didn't really care how many Sand Soul Beasts there were. His Illusion Cloud 8th strike was for mass slaughter. As soon as Mo came, countless Sand Soul Beasts charged at him. In the defense formation, almost all the sect members came out. Without the help of all these cultivators, this formation wouldn't even be able to last 15 minutes under these attacks. Du Xiaoming bit her lips. She really didn't want to die like that, but faced against so many Sand Soul Beasts, she felt a sense of relief. As one of the South Peace State 10 beauties, her sect was the weakest. Even Qiu Shui was in Green Pill Sect and had a higher status than her. On nicer terms, Fusion Joy Sect was a 7-star sect, but the truth was that they were a sect that relied on dual cultivation. Originally, a proper dual cultivation sect was fine. As long as the man and woman chose to be Dao partners, then it was natural for them to dual cultivate. But the Fusion Joy sect today completely goes beyond the line. The male and female cultivators in the second are just completely promiscuous. Other than a few cultivators who dislike this, most cultivators don't even care who their dual cultivation partner is. They could change one every day as long as it improved their power. She being one of the South Peace State 10 beauties with a very high talent, there were countless people who wanted to dual cultivate with her. If it wasn't that her master was a cauldron-filling state cultivator of the sect and she was hollow spirit state, it was almost impossible to preserve her virginity. Sometimes, she would rather be a demon cultivator than be in this sect. The reason she hadn't left the sect up until now was that she didn't have the courage to bring this up. She owed the sect. When her family was destroyed, the sect saved her father and her. She was treated very well by the sect. She was one of the most important core disciples. If she left the sect now, even if the sect agreed, she would bear the name of a traitor and a wolf. Martial Sister Xiaoying, what are you thinking about? A tall, long-faced cultivator suddenly walked next to her and asked. Du Xiaoying frowned. This was her martial brother Wang Peng. He had to bothered her to dual cultivate with her. He was Hollow Spirit State level 6 power while she was only Hollow Spirit State level 4. Wang Chan said shakily, Martial Sister Xiaoying. Now that so many sand soul beasts are attacking our sect, I believe our sect can't change this no matter what. Xiaoying, I've always loved you. Since we're going to die anyways, we might as well. A sliver of disgust flashed across her eyes and she suddenly breathed easy. She felt what was a better time to leave the sect than now. Seeing Du Xiaoying breathe easy, Wang Peng said joyfully, Xiaoying, you agree? People looked over and some female cultivators sneered in contempt. She acts like a goddess usually, and now that she knows she can't live she still wants to enjoy. Du Xiaoying didn't seem to hear this. She walked to the sect leader and took out her storage ring and magic artifact. Xiaoying, thank Fusion Joy sect for saving me and my father. Now, I wish to leave the sect. Sect leader, please allow this. Everyone looked dazedly at her. No one expected her to do this at this moment. Wang Peng's face burst red. He didn't expect his confession of love further strengthened her decision to leave the sect. The sect leader frowned and his face went cold. She was one of the most talented sect members and the sect didn't treat her badly. Why did she decide to leave the sect now? But seeing the storage ring and magic artifact on the ground, the sect leader realized that she knew she would die for sure, and she wouldn't be considered a traitor if she left the sect now. It seems she had long wanted to leave but couldn't make the decision. Sai, your master had left the sect 5 years ago and there's still no news. Okay, no one can live today anyways, so I might as well let you. As for your storage ring and magic artifact, take it. When the formation breaks, even if you can't run away from the sand soul beasts, having your magic artifact means you still a sliver of chance. Du Xiaoying quickly bowed a few times and said, Thank you, sect leader. Xiaoying owes the sect greatly. The magic artifact and things inside the storage ring top grade. Xiaoying has left the sect. I can't take these. Then Du Xiaoying left and went to the far side. Staring into sand soul beasts, her heart felt calm. However, she stood far away. She was a hollow spirit state level 4 cultivator. She didn't have any magic artifact. It was impossible for her to fight her way out. Seeing this, the sect leader sighed. The elders sighed too. No one was dumb. They knew why she left. What she did was completely opposite to what the sect did. They were a dual cultivation sect, and yet she didn't cultivate dual cultivation and made friends with unimportant people. Was what the sect was doing right? From the elders to the sect leader, they were all thinking about this problem. But soon they cast the thought aside. Now that the sect was going to be annihilated, what was the point of thinking about this? Wait, someone seems to be coming over to help. One elder's spirit sense scanned Yemo. All the cultivators above Golden Core State saw Yemo come. Just one person? Another elder added in disbelief. The heart of joy dissipated. There was no way one person could kill all these sand soul beasts. He would eventually be devoured. Yemo had experience in killing these sand soul beasts. He knew that once they chose a target, they wouldn't stop until they killed the target. This was very scary to others, but to Yemo, nothing was better than this. He wanted them to all squirm up and attack him. Zisu was released and the illusion cloud domain kill strike swung around like a huge sword. In his sword domain, not a single sand soul beast could live, not even level 10 sand soul beasts. The sword ray had expanded out to nearly 1 km. This terrifying sword ray was like a harvesting machine. The sand soul beasts around EMO instantly cleared. However, how could 100 million sand soul beasts be killed so easily? Instantly, this empty space was filled again. The purple flower sprouted again until it became a huge purple lotus. With EMO being the center, the flower sprouted out and quickly moved towards the center of the sand soul beast's tide. The sand soul beasts shrieked. The empty space only lasted a few seconds and were filled again. The originally disappointed Fusion Joy sect members were completely dazed now. This wasn't a battle, this was harvesting crops. Was this person even a cultivation realm cultivator? Amidst this many sand soul beasts, not only could he keep his essence spirit stable but also harvest large packs of sand soul beasts. Just who was this? The sand soul beasts soon left the sect's defense formation and charged at EMO, but they all turned to bodies. Seeing the dead sand soul beasts' bodies gradually form small mountains and then mountain ranges, all the Fusion Joy sect members fell silent. There was only excited panting. Just who is this? The sect leader murmured. Sect leader, the sand soul beasts retreated. One elder said. Should we retreat now? One cauldron-filling state elder asked. Everyone knew this was the best opportunity to leave. If they left after the sand soul beasts annihilated that person, it would be too late. I don't think it's necessary, that cultivator is too terrifying. His purple sword technique is insane. Even with the 100 million sand soul beasts, I don't think it's enough for him to kill. An elder said. The sect leader frowned. He didn't know what to do. If those sand soul beasts gathered around again, the sect would be annihilated for sure. That cultivator was powerful but was by himself. His cultivation essence and spirit sense were limited. He wouldn't be able to last that long. I know who that person is, a body condensation state said. He called in excitement. It's MOU City Lord Yi. MO City Lord Yi killed 11 truth realization state cultivators in a row and easily annihilated the Infinity Sect and Lightning Cloud Sect. He's the strongest in South Peace State. He's on par with Chu Jiu from many years ago. Now that he's here, our sect is saved. It's actually Yi Mo? The sect leader just realized and immediately said, everyone prepare to release magic artifact and fight with the sand soul beasts. We'll guard the formation now and cheer Yi Chen Bei on. There was still hope of escaping the instant EMO was killed, but if they dared to run away first when the city lord of MOU City came to help them, then they would be dead for sure. It's actually him? Du Xiaoying looked at the purple rays in awe. She knew that although her sect members called him Chen Bei, but she knew he wasn't younger than her. The thing she had been hearing the most was legends about EMO. Pill King Tournament Number 1. Killing 11 Truth Realization State of Pill City. Annihilated 9-star sect. Saving countless cultivators from the demon prison Forbidden Grounds. Any one of them was heavenly shocking. Seeing that large area of sand soul beasts being wiped out by Yimo's purple ray, Du Xiaoying had a sudden worry. She was worried that she wouldn't be able to die. If she didn't die and left the sect, what would happen? She subconsciously looked at the sect leader and elders, but everyone was too excited. No one wanted to die. The more Yi Mo slaughtered, the more satisfaction he felt. With this dense cluster, one strike could kill 10,000 or more. But as there were less and less sand soul beasts, he killed less per swing. Sometimes it was only a few hundred. There were a lot of sand soul beasts, but it still couldn't compare with the demon prison Forbidden Grounds. Later on, the sand soul beasts felt scared but still kept charging at EMO, but with a slower speed. Thus, EMO released Illusion Cloud Division Strike and the countless lightning arcs. EMO tried to kill them quickly as he knew things wouldn't be so simple. He had to find the place where these sand soul beasts came from. Otherwise, it's uncertain if the monks of Jin Gang Temple could even last that long. EMO quite approved of Chen Wei to offer to stop the spirit-devouring bugs. He had seen how powerful they were. The ones he annihilated in the Ice God Forbidden Grounds were probably just one part. After he annihilated the sand soul beasts, he had to reinforce the monks of Jin Gang Temple. Seeing nearly 100 million sand soul beasts die to Yemo's purple sword rays and Yemo releasing countless lightning arcs, the Fusion Joy sect cultivators forgot to be amazed. They were scared. To them, MOU City Lord's power was indescribable. No wonder the Lightning Cloud sect and Infinity sect were annihilated. They chose such an opponent. Half a day later, the countless sand soul beasts' bodies had piled up to an endless mountain range. Yemo stood on top of the mountain range and sighed. Last time in the demon prison Forbidden Grounds, he would need more than half a day to kill this many sand soul beasts, but today, he used less than half a day. Clearly, his illusion cloud domain kill strike was getting more and more powerful. By the time the cultivators reacted, they realized that all the sand soul beasts had been annihilated clean by the purple sword rays and lightning arcs. The cultivators all came over and Yemo put away Zisu. Fusion Joy sect Yu Jiong Reet City Lord Yi. Thank you enduring the labor to come. Yemo waved his hand and stopped him. It's nothing. Fusion Joy sect has been here for quite some years. Do you know what place around here has dense in chi? Yemo thought for a while and couldn't find a better way to describe it, so he said, a place like the demon prison Forbidden Grounds that can birth evil spirits. Sand soul beasts needed evil spirits to reproduce and grow quickly. Yemo guessed that they would be living in a place with dense in chi. Yu Jiong didn't expect Yemo to ask such a strange question, and he didn't know how to answer. He really didn't know where had a lot of in chi. Even if there wouldn't be evil spirits. Evil spirits were powerful enough to kill truth realization state. Yu Jiong was very anxious. He didn't know the first question that City Lord Yi asked him. If he knew the answer, the City Lord would have a great impression of him. I know. At this moment, a voice helped him. Yemo rejoiced. To be honest, he didn't have much hope when asking. After all, even if there was a place with evil spirits, the person wouldn't be able to live to tell the story. Du Shoying got up and bowed. City Lord Yi. I know that place. Such a beautiful female cultivator. Yemo was surprised to see that she was not only beautiful but also talented. She was no older than Luoying but was Hollow Spirit State level 4. However, Yemo was strange to see that she didn't have a storage ring and only had a storage bag on her. The Fusion Joy sect couldn't be this poor. When he saw that nascent Soul State and even Golden Core State cultivators had storage ring, he knew she was a special case. Yu Jiong rejoiced hearing her words and just wanted to say something, but Du Shoying walked up to him and bowed. Shoying thanks City Lord for taking me in. Although I'm not a sect members of Fusion Joy sect anymore, I'm very grateful for the sect's teachings and resources. Yu Jiong didn't feel too happy. He just wanted to say she was his core sect members. You're Du Shoying? One of South Peace State 10 beauties. Yemo thought no wonder she was so beautiful, but it seemed she had left the sect. Du Shoying immediately answered in joy, yes City Lord Yi. Yu Jiong saw there was nothing he could suck up to Yemo with, so he said, that's right, City Lord Yi. Shoying has been our sect members. She thought she would certainly die to the Sand Soul Beast's attacks, so she left the sect, but now that they have retreated, she can come back at any time. Du Shoying didn't dare to argue back. Everyone knew she didn't want to go back, but the sect leader said this. She didn't dare to say she wanted to leave the sect in front of City Lord Yi, or he might feel extremely disgusted to her. But if she stayed, she wouldn't have the same treatment as before. She might even fall to the status of an outer sect members. In the sect, the outer sect members had to dual cultivate with inner sect members if they wanted. She was waiting for Yemo to get her to lead the way. If she left, she would never come back. Yemo sneered. He wouldn't care about this, but this sect leader thought of him as an idiot. This made him very unhappy. How could he not understand what was going on? She wasn't an idiot. Why would she choose to leave the sect before she died? If Yu Jiong didn't do that, he wouldn't be bothered saying anything and would at most let her lead the way. But now, this made Yemo furious. How dare Yu Jiong use him? Yemo said calmly, since you're not a Fusio Joy sect members, you can come with me. Yes. There was joy in her eyes. She could tell Yemo was helping her, and immediately walked out without hesitation. Hearing Yemo's tone go cold, Yu Jiong was scared, sweating. He really didn't want to use Yemo, but now, he realized how stupid his actions were. He wanted to apologize, but Emo couldn't be bothered seeing him and just left with Du Xiaoying in Blue Moon. Thank you, City Lord Yi. Du Xiaoying wants dumb. Emo waved his hand. No need. Tell me where the place with evil spirits are. Du Xiaoying nodded. I'm not certain if that is the place City Lord Yi is looking for, but it indeed has heavy yin qi and I don't dare to go in at all. Tell me about the exact situation. I'll go in and check. Emo said. Du Xiaoying said, I was only 13 at the time and my parents were hunted by enemies and they all died at the Ci mountain. Just when I was about to be raped and killed, my adoptive father suddenly charged out from the icy river. I didn't know him at the time, but seeing that they were about to rape a 13-year-old girl, he was furious. He killed that person, but he hadn't cultivated immortal cultivation before. He cultivated ancient martial arts. The person he killed was Qi gathering level 4. He killed him and helped me bury my parents. When he took me away, he was injured by the yin qi and had never recovered. He died a year later. Emo nodded. Are you going to take me to the place your adoptive father was injured? Yes. Du Xiaoying immediately answered, after he was injured by the yin qi. He didn't have the strength to take me away. I was very young, but I knew it wasn't a place to stay, so I carried him away. But I was too young and couldn't go very far. At this moment, the enemies came again, and just when we were about to be killed, I was saved by my master. My master took us to the sect, but even my master couldn't cure my adoptive father. Your adoptive father died a year later? Emo noticed something wrong and asked. Du Xiaoying nodded yes. But adoptive father called my master in before he died. He told my master to burn him instantly with inner fire. My master agreed. Emo breathed easy and nodded. Your adoptive father is a very great man. Why are you fine since you went there too? Emo looked at her in confusion. I didn't know at the time, but I realized later. It's probably because I have a pure yin body, Du Xiaoying said quietly. Due to her body, countless people wanted her in the sect. Emo suddenly grabbed her wrist. Du Xiaoying didn't move as she knew Emo was checking her body type. Indeed a pure yin body? Emo fell silent, but he had never heard of pure yin body being immune to evil yin qi. There must be another reason she was safe, but he couldn't really check her body. After my master left, I never had the opportunity to leave. This time, I can bury the ashes of my adoptive father with my parents. He isn't from Luo Yu continent. He died saving me. Du Xiaoying's tone was despondent. Your adoptive father wasn't from Luo Yu continent? Emo asked in confusion. Du Xiaoying said, yes. He said he came from the magical continent, but it wasn't from any of Luo Yu's states. There, people cultivate ancient martial arts, not immortal cultivation. He said he came here was because there was a problem with the teleportation formation. He was teleported to a place called Xianxia Mountain. He knew what it was, but he couldn't get out. After staying there for a few days, he went on another teleportation formation. He was just testing it, but it activated. What's your adoptive father's name? Emo asked again. He's called Yun Dongxia. Emo immediately remembered who this person was. He was Yun Zi's father, the association leader of Magical Commercial Association. The teleportation formation he took in the small world suddenly exploded. Emo didn't expect him to go to Xianxia Mountain and then Luo Yu continent. Meanwhile, Yun Zi asked him to help find her father, but he was actually long dead. Thinking about this, Emo exclaimed, Yun Zi's Sword Valley was also annihilated and she was nowhere to be found. Emo had decided to find Yun Zi when things were over and send her to Mou City. Her disappearance was also related to him. Adoptive father said he has a daughter called Yun Zi, but I don't know where the magical continent is and I can't help him. Emo fell silent and comforted after a while. Don't worry. Cultivate hard and there will be a day when you meet each other. We're here. Blue Moon was too fast. Blue Moon landed at a place with little spirit qi. There were thorns everywhere and very little vegetation. Du Xiaoying pointed at the Ci mountain. Adoptive father took me from there. After this mountain is an icy river. He was hurt by the yin qi between the river and this road. Emo saw that she only had a storage bag and no magic artifact. So he casually took out a storage ring and threw a few things inside. You can have this storage ring. I don't know your adoptive father, but I know Yunzi. She's a friend. She just wanted to reject. But hearing Emo knew Yunzi, she looked at Emo in shock. City Lord Yi, you know Sister Z? Where is she? Emo said sadly. She was a Sword Valley disciple, but due to me, the Infinity Sect annihilated the Sword Valley, and she went missing. No wonder you annihilated the Infinity Sect. Du Xiaoying murmured and suddenly bowed to Emo. Thank you for telling me Sister Z came to South Peace State. I'm going to find her now. Emo waved his hand. Your power is not enough to roam South Peace State. Plus, there's great calamity in South Peace State now. Danger is everywhere. I will go find her after I'm done with things. If you trust me, go to MOU City and cultivate. I believe with your talent it's not hard to reach truth realization state. When your power is high enough, if I still haven't found Yunzi, you can go find her. Du Xiaoying calmed down and knew that everything Emo said was true. Xiaoying thanks City Lord Yi greatly. Du Xiaoying knew that Emo probably took her in due to his guilt over Yunzi. At the same time, she missed her adoptive father. He lost his life to save her, and now due to his daughter, she had a place to stay. If one day she was powerful, she would find Sister Z at all cost. If she couldn't, she would kill all who made her disappear. In order to strengthen her will, she put the storage ring on, but when she scanned her spirit sense inside, she took it off in shock. City Lord Yi, this is too precious. Even the magic artifacts were top-grade cultivation artifacts, much less the pills and spirit stones. Emo waved his hand. Take it and cultivate hard. If I can't find Yunzi, you still need to find her. In the South Peace State, no power means no right to talk. Plus, these things don't mean much to me. After hesitating, Emo took out a jade slip and gave it to her. This is a cultivation method written by a cultivator called Mengxia. Just cultivate that. Primordial Chaos Chant? Du Xiaoying read the words. That's right. Emo nodded. She would be much faster in cultivation if she cultivated this. Du Xiaoying took it and didn't say any more. She knew it was pointless to say thank you now. Emo saw this and was rather pleased. Her talent was top-notch and was very decisive. Her progress was on par with Su Jingguan. Plus, Yunzi had no family on Luoyu continent. He couldn't use all his efforts to search for her. Perhaps Du Xiaoying was needed to find her. City Lord Yi. Emo shook his head. I'm a little older than Z. Just call me brother like her. Stand back. Let me check here. Yes, Brother Yi. She was worried about Yunzi, but meeting the City Lord of MOU City was something one experienced only once in a lifetime. Even she was excited, more excited than she was at Emo giving her top-grade cultivation artifact. Emo searched carefully with his spirit sense. The area was large, but Emo's spirit sense was too powerful. In a short while, he had completely searched the place. This place seemed fine. Just when Emo wanted to release Mist Lotus Heart Fire to burn all the thorns, there was an explosion in one corner. A huge hole appeared out of nowhere and countless sand soul beasts swarmed out. There seemed to be more than the number that attacked the Fusion Joy sect. Emo immediately realized that this was a top-grade illusion formation. The sand soul beasts were indeed below the CI mountain. When the sand soul beasts left, the illusion formation immediately recovered, turning everything into thorns. Seeing so many sand soul beasts pop out, Du Xiaoying didn't know what to do. Seeing this, Emo immediately knew that the previous round was just the herald. Luckily he came in time, or else there might be more sand soul beasts here than the demon prison forbidden grounds. Before Du Xiaoying could react, Emo took her to the entrance of the illusion formation. At the same time, Zisu was released. The million sand soul beasts were instantly slaughtered clean by Emo. Emo released a few formation flags and sealed this entrance. Then Emo turned to her and said, I'm going down to annihilate them. There should be a few 100 million down there. Leave first, you can go directly to MOU City. Du Xiaoying opened her mouth and wanted to say something but eventually didn't. She nodded and said, Okay. Emo didn't mind and set up a few trap formation and disappeared into the illusion formation. Du Xiaoying didn't understand formation and could only retreat to the outskirts of the CI mountain. She didn't go to MOU City like she was told. Hearing there were a few 100 million sand soul beasts, she was worried about Emo but couldn't say it. Thus she could only wait here. After entering, Emo immediately saw a seal. It was the same type of seal as the ones in the demon prison Forbidden Grounds. Clearly, it was set by the same person. Emo immediately thought of Lu Zhengxuan, but he didn't break the seal and go inside. Instead, he started to study it. It was very high level and not something a level 9 formation grandmaster could set up. But Emo had seen this type so many times. He checked it and immediately knew his guess was right. This seal was suddenly activated, meaning that it was activated before the timer set. It seemed him taking the sapling really pissed off that guy in the immortal realm. That guy probably couldn't come down, so he had to activate the seal. Emo broke the seal without hesitation and set up a new seal. Then he went inside along the seal. This place was just like the demon prison Forbidden Grounds. There was a sand stairway leading down. As soon as Emo got on the stairs, a few hundred sand soul beasts surrounded him. Emo slaughtered his way down. In a short while, countless sand soul beasts had died to his sword. When Emo got down the stairs, he saw a blue rock road leading into the distance and dazed. Wasn't this the blue rock road behind the demon prison 3-berth bridge? When he took the seal flag and the road disappeared, Emo had a strong feeling that the place was dangerous to him and he couldn't keep staying. So he took Jing Ingli and left without hesitation. He even sealed that place. How come he saw the blue rock path here? Was this the other side of it? Emo suddenly felt the skin crawling. He knew this road was probably an illusion, but no matter how he looked at it, it really extended into the distance. Countless sand soul beasts emerged from the end of the road. Emo stayed on the last step and didn't go down. His next step would be on the Bluestone Road, but he felt the road was too eerie. Even though he didn't go down, there seemed to be an endless calling from the other side of the road. It seemed to be a familiar voice one moment, but then completely strange another moment. It was an unfamiliar voice. That calling wanted him to quickly get on the road and keep going forward. Emo forced his brain to stay awake. He believed that if it was some other person, he would have crippled already. If there weren't sand soul beasts there, Emo would leave without hesitation and seal it like the demon prison Forbidden Grounds. But now he couldn't go, he had to annihilate them all. Who knew if they could pop out from some other place? The safest way was to kill him all. The howls and screams of the sand soul beasts mixed as they charged at Emo, completely surrounding him. Emo released Zissou and started the carnage. Emo completely stopped the sand soul beasts from coming onto the stairs. But as he killed more, the less Emo cared. All he knew was to release purple sword rays like crazy as he killed the sand soul beasts. Eventually, Emo completely forgot what he was doing. He was just slaughtering sand soul beasts like a machine. He completely didn't notice that he had long come off the stairs and stood on the Bluestone Road. He killed his way over. There were countless sand soul beasts' bodies around him. Now, Emo was just waving Zissou frantically, but the sand soul beasts around him were all dead. However, his eyes were red and he had no intentions of stopping. When his cultivation essence ran out, he took out pills without hesitation and even took out immortal crystals. Then he waved Zissou around space that had no sand soul beasts. Rumble. After absorbing immortal crystals, Emo felt his meridians about to explode. A powerful immortal spirit chi charged into his dantian. This made him wake up momentarily. Emo shivered and went into the golden page world without hesitation. Truth realization state level 8. The instant he reached truth realization state level 8, he woke up and went into the golden page world. If he didn't have the golden page world, he would fall into that crazy state once again. So powerful, Emo was shook. He finally knew the power of immortals. He didn't even fight them, and that person just set a formation here and he almost died. Emo sat next to the bitter bamboo and exerted out the evil in chi inside his body. A dark gray mist emitted out of his body and was burned by the mist lotus heart fire. Half a day later, Emo was completely awake. He threw out a surveillance formation. There was endless piles of bodies but no blue stone road nor stairway. This meant that he had long gone off the stairs and went onto the road. If he didn't have a lot of immortal crystals and reached truth realization state level 8, he would have lost himself already. Emo checked his immortal crystals quickly. He had used up nearly 200 immortal crystals in that go. This was too scary. In this place, Emo didn't dare to take out bitter bamboo leaf. He didn't want the bitter bamboo chi to leak out. Emo came out carefully and found that the blue rock road appeared again. Emo shivered and was ready to go into the golden page world at any time. Then he released Zisu and checked around carefully. He didn't know where he came from. He couldn't scan the end of the road ahead and behind him. This was the first time Emo had seen an illusion formation this terrifying. He didn't know whether to go forward or backward. Emo retreated 2 steps and suddenly saw a huge stone tablet on the side of the road. It had the bloody words Blue Rock Netherworld Road. Emo immediately thought of the 3-birth bridge and he was furious. He released Zisu and hacked on the stone tablet. Seeing that Zisu was about to strike it, Emo suddenly had an extremely bad feeling and he forcefully stopped the strike and moved it to the side. With this, there was a powerful backlash and he spat blood out. Emo waved his hand and the blood turned to mist. The purple sword rays slid past the stone tablet and onto the blue rock road. It immediately splattered apart. Seeing this, Emo was confused. This blue road didn't seem to be an illusion. Emo calmed down instead. He only had one thought and that was to leave. Whether it was to help the JII Gang Temple monks or his current power, he couldn't stay here. Emo couldn't see through this illusion formation despite being level 9 formation Grandmaster Peak. Emo was planning to choose a direction based on his 6th sense and find the end of the pile of Sand Soul Beasts' bodies. That should be where he came in. But when he was about to choose, he found that both direction had this calling for him to go over. Emo settled his mind and didn't dare to think about it. His gaze fell upon the shattered road. The reason he didn't hack the tablet was because he had the feeling that he must not do that. If Emo didn't guess wrong, all this was set up by Lu Jingxuan. He knew the sapling was taken but he didn't come down. It's not that the sapling wasn't important but he couldn't come down. Thus he released the Sand Soul Beasts. He was probably prepared to come down a few hundred years later. It was best to find the way that guy would come back and block that road. Emo shook his head. He knew that was probably very hard. He moved his gaze to the tablet. It just appeared there suddenly and gave him an impulse to destroy it. This definitely didn't come from his heart. It was affected by the illusion formation. This was very abnormal. Why did the illusion formation want him to destroy it? Even with his firm mental state, he almost fell for it. At this moment, Emo found that the blue stone road disappeared once again. He was just standing on fine sand and there were endless Sand Soul Beasts' bodies here. However, the shattered pieces of the road didn't disappear. The stone tablet was still derelict in the sands. Emo was very calm this time. Just when Emo wanted to take a piece of the blue rock into his golden page world to study if it was real or an illusion, he saw a piercing light shine before him. He subconsciously took a few steps back and a round light pillar appeared on the rock he hacked. Emo had a bad feeling and wanted to release Zisu to hack that pillar, but he heard a laughter. A golden-robed cultivator appeared and then light pillar disappeared. Emo found that those blue rock pieces had turned gray. Hollow Immortal? Emo saw this cultivator's cultivation essence wave was completely different to his but quite similar to that Xianxia. The golden cultivator looked coldly at Emo and a blue run appeared on him. Then he released a green spear. He shook his hands and the spear turned into a green strand. Emo saw this strand wasn't coming for him but the Netherworld Road stone tablet. He immediately had a very bad feeling. Without hesitation, he hacked out Zisu with full power blocking the attack. Rumble. In a huge explosion, purple and green rays splashed everywhere. Clear void fissures appeared in the space. Tens of space wind blades shot out. Emo wouldn't even care if they hit him. It wouldn't even tear open his armor, but at this moment, Emo had the feeling he should dodge these space wind blades. Without hesitation, he dodged those space wind blades and stood before the stone tablet. He just shattered a blue rock and a hollow immortal was teleported here. What would happen if he shattered the stone tablet? The golden-robed cultivator was surprised to see Emo not sent flying after clashing with him. Since when was there such a powerful cultivator in the cultivation realm? Even though his power was suppressed a little in the cultivation realm and couldn't use his full power, but he was still a hollow immortal. Even though his cultivation essence didn't completely convert to immortal essence, he was still an immortal. No wonder you dare to touch Master's thing, so you think you're strong. The golden-robed cultivator sneered. Emo asked heavily, if it because I shattered a blue rock and thus you came down? The golden-robed cultivator said calmly, you're not dumb. On account of your power, if you're willing to serve the Heaven Lord and hand over what does not belong to you, perhaps the Heaven Lord Master will consider letting you live. Emo said, why do you want to smash this tablet as soon as you come down? Would there be more powerful people coming down then? The golden-robed cultivator sneered. That's not something you should care about. Do you agree or disagree? Keep dreaming. If you want to be Lu Zhengxuan's dog, it's your business. Don't bring me into it. Emo sneered. Emo was testing. He wasn't certain if this was related to Lu Zhengxuan. So you did it, kid. Why did Chang Sheng die? Did you take it? The golden-robed cultivator showed a cruel look as though he was about to tear Emo apart. Emo released a low-grade cultivation artifact shield and said in contempt, if you want to fight then fight. Cut the talk. Hearing this, the golden-robed cultivator furious, a mere truth realization state level 8 dared to say this to him. His spear brought a green flame and struck at Emo. Before the spear arrived, the flame already burned space, cracking. To him, that low-grade cultivation artifact shield was like nothing. His spear flame could easily melt it. This strike was much more powerful than his previous strike. Emo could the dominating force of the spear, and it seemed all the space around him was under this space. However, Emo had a strange feeling. This strike surpassed all the cultivators Emo had ever fought, and it gave him this sudden enlightenment. Zissou hacked out, but this time it didn't have any purple ray. At the start, the golden-robed cultivator was sneering. He knew Emo was not bad to be able to block his casual attack, but this wasn't his casual attack. Moments later, his face changed. Emo's strike brought a killing force around him. That endless killing intent swept at him. It was an ordinary strike at the beginning, but when he felt the killing force and killing intent of the strike had formed its sword force. That powerful force seemed to point at his weakest spot. He was a hollow immortal cultivator, and yet he showed fear towards a truth realization state cultivator. The golden-robed cultivator was ashamed. He released a brick-shaped defense magic artifact without hesitation. The spear attacked even faster. He was going to kill Emo before his sword force was completed. Even if he couldn't kill Emo had to defend against it. The brick magic artifact instantly turned to 10-meter size and completely protected the hollow immortal. Emo's strike had to bypass this golden brick no matter what. Emo was expressionless. The sword force and killing intent of Zissou was growing stronger and stronger. He had a feeling that this strike was completely different to illusion cloud sword technique. But his desire to the strike was extremely strong. Emo was going to hack it down no matter what. The golden-robed cultivator had a very bad feeling. But the only thing he could do was activate his spear faster. Crack, the spear hit the low-grade cultivation artifact, and it was like a cracked open like dried paper. The golden-robed cultivator rejoiced. He knew Emo was over. There was no way Emo could live being burned by the green flame. But when the golden-robed cultivator saw that Emo still had no intentions of dodging, he had a bad feeling, but he didn't know what exactly it was. Emo should be trying to avoid it at all costs and not try to attack him. Rumble. Zissou hacked onto the golden brick, and the purple ray that didn't come out finally activated when Zissou struck the golden brick. Thud. The golden-robed cultivator's green spear struck Emo at the same time. Green flame spilled and the flame instantly engulfed Emo. The instant his green spear pierced Emo, the golden-robed cultivator knew he was tricked. Emo's body was on par with low-grade immortal artifact, and with his cultivation essence protection, his green spear only pierced a few centimeters and was stuck in the bone. What shocked him the most was that Emo was unaffected by the green flame, but soon he realized what was going on. A faint purple flame rose about Emo's body, completely separating the green flame. It even started to devour the green flame. Purple mist lotus heart fire. The golden-robed cultivator called out in shock. He completely didn't believe that a cultivation realm cultivator had a purple heaven flame. The most powerful cultivation realm cultivator, he saw had an aqua heaven flame, but now he saw purple heaven flame. A lot of immortal realm cultivators didn't even have this. Emo had gone through the torture of body refinement. The damage of the spear would be unbearable to ordinary cultivators, but Emo didn't seem to feel it. He inserted his cultivation essence like crazy into Zisu. Crack. When purple sword rays splashed, a crack opened on the purple brick, but quickly reduced in size. Splurge. The brick was hacked away, but Emo's sword light didn't stop. It sliced down from the golden-robed cultivator's shoulder. Blood flashed, and the golden-robed cultivator's shoulder was sliced off. Before it fell to the ground, the purple sword rays twisted the arm into a bloody mist. The golden-robed cultivator retreated a few steps in a pale face. He knew that it wasn't he couldn't beat Emo, but he was tricked. When he saw that his sword couldn't pierce Emo deeper, he knew Emo definitely was a God-state body refinement. A truth realization state level 8 who was this young and also a God-state body refinement. This would be extremely shocking even in the immortal realm, but he had to encounter it. If Emo wasn't a body refinement cultivator, that spear strike would have turned him into a bloody mist already. You're indeed very cunning. No wonder Changshang would die to you. The golden-robed cultivator glared at Emo with fiery eyes. If possible, he would have eaten Emo alive now. He was a hollow immortal, but he was injured by a truth realization state cultivator. This was a huge insult. Emo ate a pill and ignored the hollow immortal's words. He felt regretful that he couldn't fully learn that new move as the instant he was pierced by the spear. That feeling disappeared. Pity you have no chance now. The golden-robed cultivator flung a black jade bottle into the air and spat some essence blood towards it. He used some hand signs and said softly, "Enter samsara." The black word, samsara, flew out of the jade bottle and gradually grew big until it covered all the space around here. A bleak wind started to rise, creating this faint whimpering sound. Suddenly, a temple appeared before Emo, and inside he held a charred bun. When he was about to eat it, the bun disappeared and an old man appeared before him. Ordinary spirit root, but he can be a pill concoction child at magical herb sect. The old man smiled and touched his head. Emo's heart was shook. He quickly used the 3-birth chant and woke up from it. He immediately knew this was a magic artifact to catalyze a heart demon tribulation, but this golden-robed cultivator used it on the wrong person. He cultivated the 3-birth chant and had the bitter bamboo. If he wasn't inside this illusion formation, he wouldn't even begin that thought. Seeing Emo daze, the golden-robed cultivator pressed his hand and the word was about to press on Emo's head. But at this moment, Emo suddenly opened his eyes and smiled at the golden-robed cultivator. The golden-robed cultivator instantly realized that Emo wasn't controlled by his samsara bottle. His face was shook. He didn't expect Emo was this absurdly powerful. The reason he wanted to break the tablet was not because he was scared of Emo, but the master ordered him. The master was going to come down personally and the tablet must be broken. Now, he realized Emo wasn't someone he could deal with. The golden-robed cultivator pulled down the rune from his body without hesitation. He didn't even take back his jade bottle. But before he could, Zisu already hacked out. The golden-robed cultivator instantly felt he was bound by his surroundings. He rushed his immortal essence out like crazy, wanting the laws of this realm to take him away. If he didn't try to run and use this green spear, he might be able to fight with Emo for a while and find a chance to run away. But now it was impossible to leave from Emo's domain. Quite many times people have escaped from Emo due to immortal ascension. How could he not be alert now? Illusion Cloud domain kill strike struck out. Emo's domain connected with the sword domain, making the golden-robed cultivator even slower. But with the use of his immortal essence, he broke free from Emo's domain in less than a second. Sometimes 1 second was very long and sometimes very short. For Emo, this second was enough. At this moment, the golden-robed cultivator realized his biggest mistake was to try and run immediately. But he realized too late, and that door-sized purple ray struck him. Blood mist sprayed out, and at the same time, Emo summoned Shadowless. Shadowless dashed at the fleeing essence spirit instantly. This was a hollow immortal essence spirit. Emo was worried if it would be too much for Shadowless, but he already devoured it and flew shakily towards Emo. Emo quickly sent Shadowless Bafk into the Golden Page world before grabbing the broken brick and samsara bottle. Then he picked up the green flame spear. However, Emo was confused that he didn't see a storage ring. He didn't know if it was that it couldn't be brought down or something. If he got the storage ring of a hollow immortal, there would be quite some immortal crystals from there. Emo sealed these things. He needed to quickly find a way out. What was this stone tablet? Why did the golden-robed cultivator want to break it immediately? Emo walked to the stone tablet, and the more he looked at it, the more it seemed strange. Emo waved his hand, wanting to take it into his Golden Page world to study, but then he realized that his spirit sense that could move mountain ranges couldn't move this stone tablet. If the stone tablet was broken, would more powerful cultivators come down? Thinking about this, Emo thought if Lu Zhengxuan came down, he would definitely annihilate the entire Luoyu continent. Emo took out the time formation disc. This was the first time he took it out. He didn't have that much time, but if he didn't study the stone tablet, he couldn't leave this place feeling secure. Soon, the time formation disc started spinning rapidly surrounding Emo and the tablet inside. A month later, Emo put away the time formation disc with a face full of fatigue. He had completely understood what it was now. It was the formation heart of the illusion formation, but something like the fish jump through Dragon Gate. There was a rune inside the tablet, and even Emo didn't care what it was, but it was definitely top-grade thing from the immortal realm. The restriction inside the tablet would explode after a set time, and the rune would be activated. Then, a teleportation pillar would form. The endless blue stone road was just an illusion formation formed by 7 blue stone rocks. There were still 6 left. Each one had a rune inside, but the runes seemed dimmer in color. Knowing this, how could Emo leave a ticking time bomb here? Emo started to set up formation, and in half an hour, the tablet was easily taken into his Golden Page world. He sealed it inside his Golden Page world. With that gone, the view before him brightened up. His spirit sense easily scanned to where he came in before. Emo breathed easy and quickly went back to the stairs, completely sealing this place before exiting. He had killed all the sand soul beasts and took the stone tablet. He killed the hollow immortal sent by that Lu Zhengxuan. Emo thought that that guy was probably jumping around in fury. This guy was so evil, wanting to annihilate an entire cultivation realm, but he didn't have the power to fight him right now. When his power reached that level, Lu Zhengxuan could only wait to die. He wasn't going to let such a go out. As soon as Emo came out, he saw Du Xiaoying sitting on the ground and asked in shock, "Why haven't you left yet?" Then, Emo immediately saw a body not far from her and the messy grounds. Clearly, there was an intense battle. Du Xiaoying's face was pale, and she seemed to have received some injuries. It was a dead young female cultivator. Emo could tell that Du Xiaoying killed her as she gave her 2 level 9 ice arrow runes. He forgot whose storage ring he got that from, and he didn't need to use it, so he gave it to Du Xiaoying. Du Xiaoying saw Emo come out and got up in joy. "Brother Yi, you're finally out. What's going on?" Emo asked. But before Du Xiaoying could reply, 2 dashing lights came here instantly. There was 1 truth realization state cultivator and 1 hollow spirit state level 4. That truth realization state was truth realization state level 9. "Who dares to kill my disciple?" The truth realization state's furious voice sounded. His face was quite dark. Emo scanned them and singled Du Xiaoying to continue talking. Du Xiaoying knew Emo's power and felt safe. She pointed at the hollow spirit state level 4 who just came. "I was spirit controlling the flying magic artifact, and that cultivator and the dead female cultivator came. After discussion, one of them wanted my flying magic artifact, the other wanted to..." Emo realized he gave her top-grade flying cultivation artifact, and the 2 cultivators came. Seeing she was so beautiful, they decided to gang up on her. The female definitely wanted the top-grade cultivation artifact, and the male cultivator probably wanted her body and storage ring. But they didn't expect the things Emo gave her was too powerful. Du Xiaoying easily killed one with ice arrow rune, and the other could only run. The truth realization state level 9 saw Emo standing next to Du Xiaoying and studied Emo. He found he didn't know Emo at all. But he didn't fight immediately and stared coldly at Emo. "Don't you think you're lowering yourself to kill my hollow spirit state sect members?" Emo sneered. He couldn't even be bothered replying. If this truth realization state wanted to fight, he would kill him immediately. He even killed hollow immortals. Why would he care about this truth realization state level 9? The two cultivators had a very dense water chi. Emo guessed they came from the Heartless Sea. The hollow spirit state level 4 quickly said, "Master, the woman killed her." How could the truth realization state cultivator not know this? But Emo's power was quite similar to his. He wanted Emo to show some resolution, but Emo couldn't even be bothered talking to him, and he was furious. He said to Du Xiaoying, "Kill yourself. I'll leave you with a whole body." Du Xiaoying rebuked without hesitation. "I was spirit controlling my magic artifact and your disciple came to rob it. Am I not allowed to retaliate? Our cultivation home is here. This land all belongs to us. You were cultivating on here, are we not allowed to kick you away?" The hollow spirit state level 4 said ferociously. He thought that, with his master here, those two cultivators would certainly die. Hearing such unreasonable words, Du Xiaoying was so angry she didn't say anything. Emo frowned. Why would a truth realization state level 9 suddenly take his disciple to here to open a cultivation home and cultivate? The spirit chi here was so scarce. Seeing that Emo seemed to be backing out and didn't argue back, the truth realization state level 9 felt more confident. He said coldly to Du Xiaoying, "If you kill someone, you need to pay with your life. You have 10 seconds, otherwise I will do it. You will turn into bloody mist." Emo suddenly said, "Killing needs one to pay with her life, regardless of right or wrong, correct? That's right, in my eyes. She needs to pay with her life. So what if it was my disciple's fault? How can that bitch compare with my disciple? Just because you're truth realization state level 8. Don't think you have a right to talk with me. If you piss me off, you will have to pay too." He felt that Emo's tone seemed to be weakening, so he was getting more and more impolite. Emo smiled and suddenly waved his hand. A wind blade shot out. The hollow spirit state level 4 was sliced into a blood mist before he could react. Even the truth realization state level 9 couldn't react. Then Emo looked at the truth realization state level 9 and said, "I killed your royal disciple. That should have angered you too, right? And I've talked so much to you. Hurry up and let me pay with my life." Du Xiaoying couldn't hold in her laughter. Seeing this, the dark-faced truth realization state was extremely shook. He could tell that Emo's power would only be higher than his. He immediately released a gray skull flag and stared at Emo. "Who are you?" Emo ignored his words and didn't even release his magic artifact. He asked with his hands behind his back, "Your cultivation home is near here?" The cultivator subconsciously nodded. "That's right." Then he felt his tone was weak and raised his voice. "Who the hell are you? I know all the famous cultivators in South Peace State. There's no one as young as you." Hearing this, Emo knew this cultivator hadn't been to South Peace State for a long time or he wouldn't say such a thing. "Do you have some secret for building a cultivation home here?" Emo asked. "You're asking to die." The black cultivator raised his flag. Moments later, the sky near here darkened. Countless skulls flew out of the flag. Du Xiaoying subconsciously shivered. She felt shivering cold. She was a pure Yin body type, but even she couldn't deal with such coldness. Emo sneered and took a step forward. Zissou hacked out. Purple flight flashed and all the black bones were hacked back into the flag. The sky brightened up again. The black-faced cultivator's face changed. He had seen many people use all sorts of ways to counter his flag, but none like Emo who just hacked out like that. Just one move and the black-faced cultivator immediately knew he definitely was no match for Emo. His first reaction was to take the skull banner and run. But when he was about to run, he was shocked to find that Emo's domain had reached a state that was cast at will. It easily broke his domain and bound him. He would need at least a few seconds to break free from this domain, and in this time he could die countless deaths. "Don't kill me, I'll say it." The truth realization state level 9 called out quickly. The activated sword ray stopped above his head, spitting out rays. If the cultivator said it 1 second later, he would have been sliced open by this sword beam. There was a sliver of joy in his heart, not because this cultivator was willing to talk, but because he could stop Zissou according to will. Before, he had to forcefully stop his full-powered attack, which caused a backlash. But now, he could stop Zissou at will. This gave Yi Mo a sense of enlightenment. He felt he was about to grasp something. "Friend, I'm willing to say it. Please put away your sword beam." The 10-meter-long sword beam was scaring the truth realization state cultivator. He was scared Yi Mo would shake his hand and cut him open. Yi Mo sighed. His enlightenment was interrupted again. This made him annoyed, and he yelled, "Hurry up then. I don't have time to play with you." "Yes." The truth realization state cultivator quickly said, "My martial ancestor left behind a flying sword seal before his immortal ascension. If the flying sword seal breaks, it meant that the fortune of our sect has come, and I'm to find sand soul beasts at the CI mountain." Suddenly, the truth realization state cultivator stopped. Mo wanted to ask him why and suddenly felt something was wrong with him. There was a look of extreme terror, more terror than when he was about to be killed before. Mo covered him and do showing with the octagonal cauldron without hesitation. "And break the netherworld." As though knowing he was tricked, he desperately tried to say the last words, but he completely exploded before he finished. Rumble, this self-destruction was enough to completely erase nearly 3 kilometers of land. After the explosion, Mo put away the octagonal cauldron, and Du Shoying saw that only her and Mo stood in this perimeter. He was willing to say it. "Why self-destruct?" Du Shoying asked in shock. "Things probably aren't so simple." Mo seemed to be murmuring to himself. Mo guessed that either in his bloodline or cultivation method, an extremely cruel restriction was set. If one revoked it, they would self-destruct. This thing definitely had something that stopped the sand soul beasts from attacking him, but now that he self-destructed, all clues were gone. Mo really wanted to go to this person's sect and see what their martial ancestors' relationship with Lu Jingxuan was. "How long was I been down there?" Mo asked. 8 days. Du Shoying quickly replied. "Oh shit," Mo said and released Blue Moon, taking her quickly away. Chen Wei told him he could last for 7 days, but this was the 8th day now. Ice Sword Sect and Golden Sword Sect had quite similar names, but the difference in power between the two was immeasurable. Ice Sword Sect was just a 5-star sect, but Golden Sword Sect was an 8-star sect. With the Truth Spirit pills provided by Flowing Snake City, Golden Sword Sect would reach 9 stars in a matter of time. Appearing above the Golden Sword Sect, Du Shoying was completely dazed. She thought the scene at Fusion Joy Sect was horrendous enough, but now she completely changed her mind. Ice Sword Sect was just a 5-star sect, but they had nearly 1,000 kilometers of land. Now, the sect was completely unseen. There were only spirit-devouring bugs before their eyes for over 1,000 kilometers. With this many, so what even if an immortal came? Du Shoying shivered but found that, as they stopped, countless of them had swarmed over. Even Yi Mo's skin was crawling. With this many, how could Chen Wei stop them? Even he would have to run if he didn't have Heaven Flame 9 Suns. Many of these bugs had devoured cultivator essence blood and reached higher levels. How many cultivators would be needed to annihilate all these spirit-devouring bugs? Mo took a cold breath in. If Lu Jingxuan set this up, just what did he want to do? Even the sand soul beasts could annihilate the cultivation realm. Why send all these spirit-devouring bugs? If the South Peace State was like this, what about North Far State, West Extreme State, and East Black State? Wouldn't they be annihilated already? Brother Yi. Du Shoying was shaking. She didn't feel that scared seeing the sand soul beasts, but the spirit-devouring bugs made her completely frightened. Then Du Shoying vomited. The terrifying smell and look of the spirit-devouring bugs made her unable to control her disgust. Mo knew that she really didn't have the courage to keep staying here. The spirit-devouring bugs here were too many and too scary. The reason Mo didn't attack immediately was because he was trying to find Chen Wei with his spirit sense. Soon Mo had a joyful look. He saw at the heart of the sect there was a big golden bell. Countless spirit-devouring bugs were hustled there, biting the bell, which was covered in craters. But Mo was shocked to find that the bell was a low-grade immortal artifact. If these bugs could even eat a low-grade immortal artifact, what else in the cultivation realm could they not eat? Mo knew that Chen Wei and them were probably inside the bell. If he came just half a day later, the bell would have disappeared. Du Xiaoying still wanted to talk, but Emo waved his hand and a purple sun was released. It hung in the sky, releasing waves of purple beams. They quickly fell and scattered from a radius of 10 meters to tens of kilometers. Emo's face went pale. During his solitary cultivation, although the Heaven Flame 9 Suns changed to purple color and his spirit sense also drastically increased due to the spirit nourishing well, he still couldn't stand the use of Heaven Flame 9 Suns. If it was a radius of a few kilometers he could last longer, but this tens of kilometers radius made it a great struggle for him. Emo knew that these bugs were different than the sand soul beasts. He had to annihilate all the spirit-devouring bugs without a 1,000-kilometer radius. Otherwise, they would run away and that would be a huge disaster. Almost all the spirit-devouring bugs melted to smoke as soon as the sun shone upon them. Du Xiaoying had never seen this, and seeing that the bugs couldn't even last a few seconds, she immediately rejoiced. There was a sudden impulse in her heart. She couldn't describe what it was. When she moved her eyes to Emo, she was very shocked. Emo's face was getting more and more pale. White mist was coming out of his body. Clearly, he had been trying his best. Du Xiaoying wanted to talk, but at this moment she realized she couldn't disturb Emo. However, Emo suddenly left Blue Moon. Then, she saw Emo burn his way over. The purple sun above his head shone out countless purple rays. The rays were like fire and turned billions of spirit-devouring bugs to dust. Du Xiaoying's spirit sense followed Emo and soon found that the purple sun increased to a bigger range. It increased to nearly 100 kilometers and Emo's face went from pale to red instead. Du Xiaoying's heart clenched. She knew that Emo was heavily injured. Soon, she realized why Emo expanded the sun. It was because some of them started to run. However, Emo was getting faster and faster and his sun getting hotter and hotter. In less than half an hour, the heaven-filling spirit-devouring bugs loosened up and disappeared. When Emo circulated the 1,000 kilometers around Ice Sword Sect and finally came before Blue Moon, he couldn't help falling to the ground. The purple sun shrunk and landed before falling onto Emo's head and disappearing. There were only about a few thousand spirit-devouring bugs above in the sky. This wasn't enough to threaten a sect. A slightly higher-powered cultivator would be enough to kill these spirit-devouring bugs. Du Xiaoying quickly controlled Blue Moon to land next to Emo and help protect him. She was very worried. She knew that no one would come harm Emo now, but she was still worried. She had seen what Emo did and knew what he meant to South Peace State. Without Emo, just those sand soul beasts were enough to flip South Peace State over. Sometimes, the more one worried about something, the more it would happen. Although there were only about a few thousand bugs left and theoretically they should have flew off, they didn't. Instead, they gathered together. Just when Du Xiaoying didn't know what was going on, she heard a sharp shriek. This time, she saw what it was. It was a spirit-devouring bug, but it was so much bigger than the rest. It was completely red and 10 times the size of the rest. Then, it charged at Emo. Du Xiaoying was shook and quickly released her flying sword, hacking at the bug. She thought with her hollow spirit state middle stage power, she could easily kill a bug. But the clash of metal sounded and Du Xiaoying's heart sunk. Her flying sword not only didn't kill the bug, but was instead knocked flying away. The bug ignored her and instead charged rapidly at Emo, as though it wouldn't stop unless it killed Emo. The few thousand bugs also followed this huge spirit-devouring bug. She quickly set up a shield, but at this moment, she heard another shriek. A figure her spirit sense didn't even notice charged at Emo. Meanwhile, the spirit-devouring bugs quickly crippled hearing this sound. However, that black figure didn't stop there. It charged up fast like lightning. Everywhere it went, spirit-devouring bugs disappeared. Only now did Du Xiaoying see clearly what it was. It seemed to be pea-sized. How did it eat so many bugs that were much larger than it? Finally, this angered the largest bug. It charged at the black figure without fear while the black figure did the same. The two figures clashed together, creating the sound of metal clashing. Then Du Xiaoying heard a crunching sound. But at this moment, Emo got up and Du Xiaoying immediately came up to him. "Are you okay?" Emo smiled. "Thanks for protecting me. I've recovered a lot. That round of Heaven Flame 9 Suns was too exhausting." Although it was impossible to completely recover this quickly, Yemo recovered 30% of his power. Du Xiaoying's face went red. She didn't help at all. She couldn't even beat a bug. But Yemo didn't say anything. He yelled at the black figure. "Don't eat in such a disgusting way. Hurry up." Then, Du Xiaoying realized that the small pea-sized thing had already eaten the big spirit-devouring bug. Then, the black bug shot in a line and disappeared into Yemo's hand. After a while, Du Xiaoying asked in a daze, "Brother Yi, that's your bug? You keep bugs?" She suddenly shivered and imagined a scene where countless of these black bugs circulated Yemo, and they were all kept by Yemo. Yemo nodded. "Yes, this is my bug. The spirit-devouring bug before didn't fear Shadowless because it was possessed. It's probably a cultivator who had enmity with me, so its instinct was to charge at me. Otherwise, all those spirit-devouring bugs would have escaped." Yemo looked at the bell in confusion. Why doesn't the old monk come out? Is he planning to celebrate New Year inside? Then Yemo walked over at the ditched bell. Yemo reached out his cultivation essence giant hand and opened the bell and found Chen Wei was more heavily injured than him. His face was pale like paper. The rest of the people were also heavily depleted in spirit sense and cultivation essence. There were about 100 or so people inside. Other than 7 monks, the rest were probably Ice Sword sect cultivators. However, this sect had mostly female cultivator. Yemo realized that they used all their spirit sense and cultivation essence to activate the bell that they didn't even have the power left to open it. This old monk had quite the luck. If he was close to the monk, Yemo would have joked already. "Thank you, City Lord Yi. I'm ashamed. I thought I would be able to stop the spirit-devouring bugs, but they were endless. I wasn't even able to survive for a day. We completely relied on the treasure of the Jin Gang Temple to survive. City Lord Ye's power is out of the world. Reaching immortal state. I'm really amazed." Chen Wei sighed. Yemo knew that the old monk was sighing because the bell was ruined and also because they didn't have someone like him in the temple. Some of the Ice Sword sect members who recovered their senses came over to thank Yemo. They were covered by the bell, but their spirit sense could scan outside. No one could stay calm at the sight of Yemo using Heaven Flame 9 Suns to instantly annihilate countless bugs. Now, no one doubted that Yemo killed 11 truth realization state cultivators in a row. Yemo himself could count for a few hundred truth realization states. Even if a few hundred truth realization states came, they might not be able to annihilate so many spirit-devouring bugs. Yemo took out recovery pills and let Du Xiaoying spread them out. When Chen Wei recovered a little, he asked him, "Sect leader Chen Wei, why are there only this number of cultivators in the Ice Sword sect? Were the rest devoured by the bugs?" Chen Wei sighed. "Many wanted to use Earth mobility to leave, but none escaped. I made the promise before, and yet today I accomplished nothing, and I still needed City Lord Yi to save me. I'm really..." Chen Wei was a competitive person as a 9-star sect's head monk. However, he felt a little disappointed that the difference between them was this huge. Yemo had a great impression of this monk. He shook his head and said, "Sect leader Chen Wei, you've helped a lot. If it wasn't for you being here, I'm afraid more sects would have been annihilated."